here. All right, what's going on, everybody? We are live. We are live. Good Saturday morning. It is 8 a.m. Central Time. Welcome to Caliber Corner episode number 65. Today, we got a lot of topics we're going to talk about here. We are going to talk about the, late last night, the marriage of Gunstreamer and UGEtube was called off. I got an email about that. It looks like there will be no merger between those two. We're also going to talk about, I don't ever want to assume that we're going to lose at all at anything ever in life, but we got to talk about the polls. We got to talk about voting. What's our backup plan, or what can we do to make sure that we don't lose at the polls? We've also had a lot of requests to talk about the 450 Bushmaster round. We're going to talk about that too, as well as just share some of our our favorite little bits and pieces of go-to gear that we keep in the gun cave and in the gear boxes and so on. Now, I want to give you guys a quick heads up. Half of my town has no internet access. We just got ours back last night at 7:30. It was out for 7 hours. So if this podcast goes dead, just understand that it's the lines. Somebody cut a fiber optic line and cut off basically the entire town that I live in for regular 60 megabit high-speed internet. So if it goes out and goes blank, I do apologize. Let's go ahead and take some attendance real quick and see who's joining us this morning over on the Gun Channel side. I see that Tony has checked in over there on the Gun Channel side, and Tony is here. Ozzy Osbourne is with us today. Paper Plane Crash is hanging out with us, and Patrick is over there on the Gun Channel side. Over here on the YouTube side, we got things fired up. Ozzy Osbourne's also over here, or Osbourne's over here. Midnight Range is with us. Gizzard Gary is there and here. Tacos and French fries. Yes, please. Good morning. Sandhill Shooter is there and here. Lots of thumbs up. Blue Steel 44 is with us in the house. Andrew Faulkner is joining in. WB is with us. Good morning, sir. And Cadillac Jack. And so I'm sure the numbers will keep increasing as time goes on. So we've got a pretty good panel with us today. We got nothing but the best for you. So let's go and start off with my right over here. Tony, what is new in your world, man? What's going down?
I'm sitting here with the grandson waiting for the fog to clear so we can go hunting.
All right. All right. What are you guys going to go for? You going to go get your deer?
Squirrel.
All right. How's that been for you this year so far? Has it been good? You've had a good season?
Yes, I have. Best I've had in years.
Good. Awesome. So can you give us an update at all? Any updates at all on early watch? Anything we need to know? Nada?
You can wait until towards New Year's.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Before I start really getting it together.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, you had mentioned that earlier that you're going to try to get something going on here. Once we hit New Year's, you guys can start fresh and kind of get things going again. So sounds good. All right. Well, Tony, thank you for joining us. Let's hope that fog clears for you so you guys can get out there and get your hunt on and have a good time. All right. Squibby, good morning. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Good Saturday morning, everybody.
Yeah. So, hey, what's new in your world, man? What's going on?
I've just kind of been busy with life, so I haven't put out any videos or, I've been able to jump into shows. Last night I was able to get on Rupan RX's Every Second Matter podcast. He requested if somebody wanted to join, and I just jumped in. Okay. And probably stayed up way too late. So, but just jumping into shows and yeah.
Stay busy. Are you in the market for any new guns, Squib? Is there anything kind of catching your attention these days? Anything you want to pick up here?
Yeah, but I'm in the market. Yes. Got the finances? Probably no. So maybe there might be some Christmas stuff. Maybe.
Yeah. We got the Black Friday specials coming up here pretty soon. A lot of places are already starting to have deals, and I know there's just, it's so tempting to just pick up things once in a while. Stuff pops up on your radar, and God. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a good year. Part of me wants to hold out until after SHOT Show to see what's going to come out next spring, because I got a feeling there's going to be some really cool announcements and some neat releases and stuff. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Sandhill Shooter is with us. Sandhills, what's new in your world, bud?
Good morning. Thanks for the invite. What's new? Not a whole lot today. Just getting ready for a day off where I can actually watch a whole football game, hopefully, and trying to get things kind of ready for 2A Tuesday next week, because I think we're going to have one last deer hunting chat before I go up and maybe turn on the camera while I do a little hunting. So
cool. What do you want to focus on for that episode? What are you thinking? You going to try to focus on the ammo or why we do it or how to do it safely? Give us a heads up on that.
Well, when we talked about it here a few weeks back, we really got into gear and guns, ammo, calibers, things like that. So I don't think I can add anything to that. So what I'm going to focus on is, and I'm kind of going to let the panel and the viewers take it where it goes, but we're going to talk about whatever people want to, and if that ends up being calibers or loads, that's cool. But also tactics and deer behavior, and maybe things that people who've never been deer hunting or have only been a few times and want to learn. More than just what rifle do I take out or what knife should I use? How do you get inside the head of a deer?
Yeah,
and I've got a few theories that I've built over 25 years of deer hunting. So so I'm gonna share my pearls of wisdom, and
yeah, that's cool.
Anybody else that knows more than I do is sure welcome to chime in.
Oh yeah. And just let people know, I am planning on going out in January with Sandhill Shooter. We'll see how the holidays go and how everything goes. But right now, that's a plan. So maybe bring you guys a little bit of footage and go from there. It should be a good time.
Right on.
Might just have to pick up another rifle before then. I don't know. It's
doggone it. I hate when that has to happen.
I don't know. Just something about 308's calling me. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe 6.5 Creedmoor. Who knows? So we'll have to see how things go. But all right, man. I'm glad you're with us. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you around today. All right, Gizzard Gary, how you doing, man? Are you feeling all right? You gonna stay with us the whole day today?
I'm gonna do my best. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. So thanks for having me.
What do you got coming up on your channel, Gizzard? You got a lot of good stuff. You got a lot of good videos out there. What's kind of the plan for the future? Where are you gonna take things?
Well, this week I'm probably gonna go a little bit political. Talk about the upcoming elections a little bit and stuff like that. Other than that, I've got some stuff in mind for like a series on my older guns and stuff like that, tell the history behind them and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Just go a little bit different direction from what I've done in the past.
Well, it's good to keep your channel interesting, and the audience always appreciates that, and it's good to have something new to watch. And there's just a lot of good content out there, but there's always something new you can add. So that's cool.
Sure.
All right. Where can we check you out? Where's your channel? Where can we follow you at?
Well, I'm almost everywhere. GizzardGary.com will give you the links to all my different presences out there on social media. I'm on YouTube, Gunstreamer, UGEtube, Vimeo, GunTube, of course, also Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MeWe, LinkedIn. I'm sure I've left out one or two there, but I'm in a lot of places.
And I don't want to delay the intros, but guys, you got to get over to MeWe. MeWe is very cool. Basically, it's a social networking site, kind of like Facebook, but they don't steal your data. They don't track you. There's no ads. They don't push things on your feed. And they do allow any group that wants to go there, so long as you're not breaking the law, you're not breaking your local law or state law. And a lot of us that were in gun groups on Facebook that got booted out a couple years ago went right over there. So it's just like the family got back together again over on MeWe. So now for Nebraska, I think there's about 13 gun groups that I belong to. They're all buy, sell, trade. So, if you want to go that route, if your state allows private sales or, you got to go through dealer transfers, but you still want to communicate with somebody and not get kicked out of Facebook, MeWe is definitely cool. They got a nice app. They've got a nice main page you can go to. And then, don't rule out gunchannels.com. Okay, it's another good place to
absolutely
your gear. You got that too. It's always good to have anything in your arsenal. I do like MeWe because it's local. I mean, there's a lot of people there's a central Nebraska group. Everybody's within about 50 miles of me, and so there's a lot of buying and selling and trading that goes on. A lot of good people. I've known them for years now through Facebook. So, but anyway, good stuff, man. Good to know that you're out there, and thanks for joining us. And it's always good to have you here. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. David, what's new in your world, bud? How you doing, man?
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for having me, Travis. It's always a pleasure.
So you did a little video on that accelerator rifle, man. I like that. You can take that bad boy out and shoot it and get it broken in again for the first time. What's the story behind that accelerator rifle? That
okay. Mag? Well, my range at the range I go to, the guy who helped certify me for my handgun license ended up becoming a really, really good friend.
Okay.
So he said he had it at the range one day, and he didn't have a scope on it. It was kind of just there, and he said he was looking to get rid of it, so I told him I'd take it. Well, so I bought it from him, and the very next day, somebody else from the range who wanted it called me and asked me if I'd sell it to them.
Okay.
So I just called the original owner and said, go ahead and sell it to that person. And then they had to, talk back and forth for about 2 weeks. So I got a chance to play with it for about 2 weeks. And then they finally said, okay, he wants it. So he wanted it really bad. And I just took it just to take it. So I sold it to him. And then, like a week ago, he called me up and asked me if I wanted it back. And I was like, yeah, of course I do. And he said, well, I got good news. I put a scope on it. And I was like, all right, even better.
Man, that's cool. 22 Magnum is such an awesome round. If you guys have never fired it before, whether it's in a pistol or it's in a rifle, 22 Mag is an awesome. What are you going to run through it for ammunition? Are you going to go some CCI, or what are you going to put through it?
Most likely right now, the guy who put the scope on it said he has a couple boxes of stuff. So I'll just, go through what he's got, and whatever I like the best, I'll stick with that.
I have purchased, it's a little bit cheaper. I bought some of the Arms Core, and that's not bad for 22 Mag. They do make 22 Magnum ammo. I can actually buy it locally at our farm supply store. They've got a decent little ammo case, and that's one of the brands of the 22 Mag that they carry, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, no, that's all right, man. We'll keep us updated on that, and look forward to all the cool stuff coming up on your channel. Any new plans for the channel at all? Anything you got in the works here coming up?
Well, at the end of today, I guess tomorrow when I wake up, I'll end my little giveaway challenge and shoot the video doing the drawing for that. I would go live, but I don't know. I'm not all that skilled on doing the whole live thing, and I don't feel like messing it up, so I'll just shoot the video and post it.
All right. If you haven't gone over there yet, it is really hard. It is really challenging. You thought the Patriot in the Dark challenge was tough to enter that drawing. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. So you gone over to David's channel. So go over to David Bowling's channel and you participate in the challenge. So we won't tell you what it takes because we don't want to ruin the secret. But is the drawing still open, David? Can people still register?
Yeah, I'll figure midnight tonight.
Okay.
Basically when I wake up tomorrow, I'll stop accepting entries.
That's midnight Central Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, right?
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time, the only time zone that really matters.
So it's midnight here, 1 a.m. your time.
Right.
Okay, just double checking. So I want to make sure that we are the time zone. Remember, the world revolves around the Central Time zone. Everything revolves around us, the sun, the moon. All right, cool. But I'm kidding, people. Calm down. All right, so anyway, David, good to have you on the show here. AWAG, what's up, buddy? What's cracking, man?
Hiya. How you doing? Right. Thanks for the invite.
We're doing good. So you're a little excited. You got a little project you're going to start on here pretty soon.
Yeah.
What works? What's in Night Wagon Rifle Works? What's coming up here?
Well, I got two projects going right now. I have a Romanian PSL that I am currently trying to find a receiver for. Nobody makes a 100%, but that's kind of pushed to the side until somebody does. I got in contact with Childers and Recreator Blanks. Recreator Blanks is actually pretty close to my house. They're in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And they said that they have PSL receivers in the works, so I'm going to kind of push that to the side. I recently picked up a Yugoslavian M76 sniper rifle parts kit, which is basically like a very long AK, much like the PSL, except it's chambered in an 8mm Mauser instead of 7.62x54R. So that's a new project that I'm doing. There's a company that makes milled receivers for it. I'm going to go with that. And Green Mountain Rifle Barrels makes rifle barrels for it, and they're actually pretty inexpensive at like $160, I believe. This is not too bad, but I will have to make it a little bit more compliant because it has what looks to be a flash hider. So I just don't want to be, harassed at the range because I have something with a pistol grip, detachable magazine, and a flash hider,
Yeah. It'd be cool if you could get over to guntube.org and do some of the building process, maybe do a live stream on that so we could watch how it works, or you could do kind of talk about the steps of going through it where you don't have to worry about getting shut down by YouTube for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea you might show off the process at all? Like kind of give people a heads up on what it takes to build. I think a lot of guys understand what it would take to build an AR. Lowers, no problem. Uppers, there's some easy videos, but the AK, it's kind of, that's a little different beast.
The AK is more of a crafting and forging than it is a just kind of slapped together.
Yeah.
I did unprivatize the AK-74 build that I did, so you can go over to my channel and watch that, even though it is pretty crude because I shot it only with my cell phone and I had no editing software whatsoever. So it's broken down into parts between how it's being put together. I basically end up starting with like pieces everywhere, and then I end up with a completed rifle that I ended up having a failure test in at the range. But you can watch that for yourself. It's in multiple different parts. Yeah.
Now,
So,
did you do that in a way where you don't have to worry about getting any kind of a channel strike or any kind of a violation at all from YouTube? Did you go
I
through
honestly don't know.
Okay.
But I'm just putting it up there, and if a strike happens, it'll be my very first one ever. So I'll take care of it.
What's funny about build videos is I've been watching. There's a guy, I can't remember what his channel was off the top of my head. Showed me how to put together a lower receiver for an AR-15. That video's been up for years, and he's got a million views on it, and it's not been taken down. And there's other build videos on YouTube, so I don't know if I'm scared or they're just taking a chance at getting as many views as they can before the video gets pulled. Because I'm still seeing build videos online.
Yeah. And I think with my videos, I actually kind of break. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to go back and watch them. But I basically say that this is not a cheap endeavor. Oh
yeah. No, it's not. I mean, just to have the machining to do it, and the tools and the instruments to actually do it the right way. So again, as soon as you get your manufacturer's license, I'll be first in line. Just to let you know, cash in hand.
Okay, cool.
All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I was kind of looking over in the chat. There's a lot of guys talking right now. When deer season starts, we need to have weekly harvest picks. That would be very cool. Looks like a few of you have picked up some new firearms lately, which is good. Tacos and French Fries says he picked up the Thompson Center Compass in 6.5 Creedmoor. I think they had that sucker for like $229 after a $50 mail-in rebate at Cabela's. That's a really good deal. I don't know, man. I'm on the I really would like to pick up something like that, or maybe go with the 308 or 30-06. Nothing wrong with the Ruger Ranch. Love it. Great rifle, but I'd like something that can go better than 250, 300 yards. So anyway, the first topic, and I just added this. I got an email last night. I think I was already asleep. It was about 11 o'clock at night. And I got an email from Gunstreamer. And again, I'm not going to bore you guys with content creator topics and how we make gun videos on YouTube. That's not why you're here. But this was interesting because we kept hearing about the merger between Gunstreamer and UGEtube. And for whatever reason, there was an email last night from the CEO or the founder of Gunstreamer or the president saying that they've decided not to do it, that it wasn't going to happen. So I was just maybe going to get your guys' take on that. What are your thoughts about it? I'm thinking it's because they knew they couldn't get GunTube because Night Strike already owns it. But they tried to put Gunstreamer and UGEtube together, that they couldn't get GunTube as a copyright. But no, I'm just kidding. But what do you guys think about that? My thought is that now that those platforms are taking off and they're starting to get more popular, more people are going over to Gunstreamer and UGEtube and kind of shying away from YouTube. In terms of gun videos, maybe the revenue was the big question. Who's going to get the money? What percentage is it going to be? What kind of responsibility is put on who? What do you guys think about that? The fact they called off the merger. Does it bother you at all that they did that? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing, personally. I didn't like the idea when they were going to merge. It's like, well, UGEtube is kind of muddled up with non-gun related videos and everything else. A lot of clutter in there. Gunstreamer is just so easy to navigate. And if you're a gun person, all your favorite stuff is right there. So I kind of like seeing them remain where they are, so maybe they can concentrate on getting us a streaming solution.
It seems like UGEtube was also big on kind of their a lot of their political videos, their 2A documentaries, like they kind of have their own content that they're putting out there also, whereas on Gunstreamer, you didn't really seem to get that. It was all user-generated content. But no, Gary, I do agree with you totally about the interface. Yeah.
It's much nicer.
Yeah.
My 2 cents worth anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking they wanted to acquire it so they could just shut it down.
Possibility, absorb all the videos, make it part of their collection, and then just integrate their interface with the other, like UGEtube would just absorb Gunstreamer, or Gunstreamer would absorb UGEtube and borrow some elements from it and, boom, start over again. As so many companies do that, they just basically conquer, buy, and shut it down to eliminate the competition. That happens so many times in the world of technology and apps and programs and companies and stuff.
Eliminate the competition or control what's being seen.
Yeah. I think the platforms are doing fine on their own as they are. I mean, there's a lot of people that are joining them. There's a lot of content that pops up on there. They do a good job to promote it, in my opinion, for the most part. I mean, obviously, guys, we should be over at guntube.org and we should be at gunchannels.com. You know, we need to have our stuff out there as much as we can. But, you know, again, until they offer live streaming options, I'm putting my videos over there, and I do watch some videos from time to time, but I'm primarily sticking with Gun Channels and GunTube and YouTube, you know, for now. But, you know, and eventually once all the gun channels have been taken off YouTube, which they probably will in the next 5 to 10 years, you know, we'll be migrating primarily over those two networks. And so, you know, we'll kind of see where it takes us.
I know that, and maybe everybody else does, it's not like it's breaking news, but G-Webs and Night Strike had live streaming on GunTube last week, and they were embedding it onto gun channels, and they had the chats running and stuff like that. So I don't know if that was just test runs or if it's up and going now or what, but Night Strike or G-Webs would be obviously the ones to talk to about it, but they're working on it.
Yeah.
G-Webs just put it out there. Why are we doing this through YouTube? So I'm assuming that it is good to go.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was watching, what was it, Clover was podcasting through like 6 networks at one time or something. He was doing like a live broadcast through all these different networks at one point. So
Night Strike ran hit or miss this week on
yeah,
GunTube as well.
Yeah.
And Facebook at the same time, and gun channels, and I think he was everywhere at once too.
I need to get the software that he does to do that. I think that would be really cool to be able to broadcast. So I'm going to try to do that next week for Caliber Corner. So if you guys want other options and get away from YouTube and go to networks that really do care about your rights and are just keeping this around because they feel like they have to, then that would definitely be the way to go. I think it's something we should all look into as content creators. You know, obviously you want to diversify your platform and be on as many networks as you can. So you can get bring as many, you know, viewers into the whole gun two-way lifestyle as you possibly can. I think that's important. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting that they called, because here you kept hearing all this hype about how they're going to be merging and it's going to be great and it's going to be this huge new thing, and then it's like, no, not going to happen. Got cold feet. So no, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're both around, and I think that's what's important, is that they were started, that they do function. You know, so we'll kind of see where it goes. But yeah, any other thoughts on that before we move on, guys?
Think about it though. If YouTube is supposedly going kind of anti-2A, why would they want to buy something called Gunstreamer?
Yeah.
Buy out any possible competition and shut it down.
So there is no more Gunstreamer.
Yeah.
So they can control.
But it's interesting how they use the term merger when it could be a buyout, shutdown, and merging what? We'll merge your software with our platform, and then go and close up shop for you guys. You know.
Is that kind of like when Bass Pro and Cabela's merged, and then everybody in Sydney lost their job?
Yeah, they basically shut down everything when Cabela's related.
Thanks, Bass Pro Shops, for killing a town in the panhandle of Nebraska.
Yeah. In case you guys aren't familiar with that was Cabela's had. Yeah.
I think that has to do with the amount of customers or sales or something like that. Because around here they didn't close down any of them, and they're doubled up over here. They're always busy.
They didn't close the store in Sydney. They closed the corporate headquarters, and a few of the people did get jobs in Springfield. One of my high school mates moved from Sydney to Springfield, and he's working there now. But a lot of people at Cabela's corporate just lost their jobs and can't sell their house. There's a flood of houses now in Sydney, and without Cabela's, Sydney takes a huge hit economically.
If it's a corporate thing, then yeah, they'll do that. They do that in the automotive industry all the time. Two companies will air quotes merge, and all the VPs and directors and people like that get a big fat severance, and off they go. Because why do you need 2 directors of engineering and 2 directors of whatever, and you could, but you still need the factories, or you still need the contracts. But it's usually management jobs that it's like one person can do this even if we double our capacity. So
yeah, but they pulled a bait and switch because they told people that they weren't going to be shutting down one or the other corporate headquarters, and then after the merger happened, then they did.
You know, they were also talking about how they were going to keep the Cabela's brand around, you know, because they liked the fact that all the gear was already in production and the clothes and stuff were already out there. And now I'm noticing more and more of the Redhead brand stuff in the Cabela store here and less of the Cabela's gear just in general. I mean, Cabela's, they manufacture a whole line of everything from the camping part to the clothes, to the hunting accessories, cleaning kits, everything had the Cabela's name on. And now it's starting to really thin out in the store. Now they've got more of the Redhead gear that they're bringing in, which is fine. I mean, the stuff looks great. But
you do find Cabela's brand though in Bass Pro Shops too, so it's kind of spilling over both directions there. I don't think as far as the branding goes too much has changed, and I don't think as far as the retail locations too much has changed. Just mostly the middle management or upper management people.
Gotcha. Yeah,
at some point they'll probably go down to one name. It's just I've seen it with other companies too, where they'll hyphenate the name almost like a marriage, or they'll do what these guys are doing, like they'll keep the separate store names or storefronts or whatever, but they start selling each other stuff. Or I mean, the first thing that happened was they'll start accepting returns, and then they started, you know, from the other store, and then they started putting other brands and stuff like that in there. But I think at one point it'll come down to one name.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and check this out. So that was a little thought about the Gunstreamer YouTube merger. Now, talking about the elections, and again, I'm not the kind of person that likes to have a losing attitude about anything, right? If you go into it thinking that you're going to lose, you're going to lose. But talking about the elections, you know, we know that we need to be vigilant. We know that we need to help educate people on what topics are important. What are you guys seeing in the elections right now? Are there any results coming in that's kind of bugging you a little bit? I heard Missoula, Montana last night enacted some local gun ordinances or something like that. Did you guys catch that? Hear about that? No.
No, I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, there was a gun channel that had posted a video on it last night talking that they enacted some last minute ordinances on firearms. So I'm not really sure, but I know Missoula. It's kind of, and I don't want to rip on Missoula or Montana at all, but I know it could be kind of like an Austin or a Denver or just kind of the way that people are. You don't quite have that pro 2A, pro freedom spirit in those places. You kind of have that college crowd. You've kind of got the anti concentration in those places. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Are you talking about the one where they said don't vote Republican or you wasn't going to be able to hunt anymore?
I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on here. They've got something. Let's see. Some gun ruling just came out recently, but anyway, no. So let's just talk about just the whole elections in general. Are you guys thinking that? My thoughts are you're going to start to see a stronger, maybe third party or independent party rise come out of where we are right now. You know, that people are maybe going to start to get away from the Republican side, or you might see some Democrats going more conservative. What are your thoughts on the elections this year, guys?
I want to see more third party choices. I'd like to see more independents out there that actually have a chance of winning in all different categories of the election. However, I think as long as people start diverting their votes from Republican to a third party, there won't be any chance of the third party ever getting a foothold. I think that you need to keep a conservative foothold in as many forms of government as possible for the independents, for the libertarians and other independents to have a chance. As long as the Democrats have a similar chance as the Republicans of winning, that third party is never going to get in there. And if the Democrats are in control, the Republicans are going to be fighting tooth and nail to try to get back in, or at least they should be, and the independents are going to get shut out altogether. So I understand a lot of people wanting to, they don't like the Republican candidate, they don't like the Democrat candidate, so they're going to vote third party. Or they're like me, they'd like to see more choices, and they think the only way to get them out there is to keep voting for them. But by doing that, you're not playing the long game, I don't think.
Well, the presidential election is, in my opinion, where the third party candidate won the presidential candidacy, because Donald Trump was not accepted by the Democrats and he wasn't accepted by the Republicans. He was accepted by the voters, and the Republicans were forced to take him. And I'm not making that up. They were talking about fighting, his nomination all the way up until the day he got it. So that's a different dynamic, though. I don't think unless the rock star pops up in your state, as far as like congressional and state elections, the third party candidate's going to have a really hard time doing anything except for pulling votes away from one of the other two parties. And again, same thing with the presidential election. Unless another Donald Trump type figure comes along, no independent stands a chance right now. It's the best chance that we would have had is if the Republicans would have fought the nomination for Trump and he'd have went third party. Then we'd officially have a third party president right now, where technically we just have a Republican president right now.
Or what happens if more third party candidates do what Donald Trump did and register as Republican or Democrat, knowing that they can still be kind of, I don't want to say rogue, but Trump is not your typical Republican, and he's definitely no rhino. He's almost a Democrat in excuse me, he's almost a Democrat in Republicans' clothing in some ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was politically, he was a Democrat his entire life.
Until he ran, right. And that's kind of what I'm saying. But he also said, you know what, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do all this crap. I'm not going to, bait and switch. I'm not going to say, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. And then I do the same thing that everybody else before me has done. And the voters definitely bought into that. So there might be a something if you've got a third party candidate, or if you're thinking about running yourself, on a third party ticket. Yeah, that's hard to get that foot in the door, because some people just won't vote third party no matter what it is. But if you can register, decide to bite that bullet, register one of the two major parties, and then still get the word out that you're not necessarily going to play by the political rules, and you're going to play by the constitutional rules instead. Clearly, America is wanting that.
Well, I think, at least my opinion, I don't know how far spread it might go, but trusting an independent, a non-Democrat or non-Republican is pretty hard, because at least for me, when I think of independents, the first two people that pop into my brain are Bernie Sanders and Gary Johnson. And at least as for me, they're both lunatics, and they're not even remotely close to independent. They're just Democrats with an I beside their name. So it's pretty hard to find an independent that's actually independent and not just a wolf in sheep's clothing for either party.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty hard for your really lock solid conservatives to vote for some of the quote unquote radical ideas that an independent has.
Well, I don't consider myself completely conservative. I definitely don't consider myself to be liberal. I think, if anything, I would lean more towards the small, the lowercase L libertarian. And I kind of liked a lot of what Gary Johnson had to say, but I am going to vote pro-life. It's one of the two biggest issues in anybody's platform that sways my vote. And anybody who is going to be pro legally murdering unborn children, I can't vote for them. And I don't expect everybody to agree with that. And I'm not going to take over Travis's show with an ethics talk. But for me, I mean,
sometimes we need that.
Gary Johnson was cool up to a point, and then I found that out, and I said, I'm out.
Well, see, I know it might not be a popular thing, but I'm not really against voting down ticket. And the reason that I say that is, if you understand the issues, like we talked about it on 2A Tuesdays, if you're just blindly voting for all Republican, then you're making a mistake. If you're just blindly voting for all Democrat, you're making a mistake. But for me personally, there's not one single Democrat policy that I can support. So I will never, ever check the Democrat, ever. And like you said, Sans, one of the number one reasons is I don't believe that you should be killing babies.
Count me on that side too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just gonna be a crazy year for elections. That's all I know. kind of scared in a way because, you know, a lot of these people that you thought were supporting us, especially on the 2A front, you know, turned out to not be the complete supporters we thought they were. And yeah.
Well, and one thing too, I think I'm going to go ahead and develop this thought into a video here and shoot that later today and get it released. But you know, one thing that I hope people will start to remember, and I think this is kind of happening, is, you know, the executive branch, we elect the president to lead the country. We don't elect our Congress to lead our country. We elect our Congress to do what they're told. And the elections have gone to the side of pick me because this is what I'm going to do and I've got these ideas and I'm the best person to send to Washington. But what it should be is pick me because I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to do what you say. And that's kind of where Trump has gone too. And I think the country, if more people would get, you know, would realize how Congress is supposed to work and they represent us, they don't lead us, they don't tell us, they listen to us, or they should. And I think that's where we need to place our votes, not necessarily concerned about party lines. And of course, you have to vote your conscience. You know, if somebody is willing to, you know, to vote for something you don't agree with or against something you do agree with, that's a deal breaker. I get it. But for the most part, we've got to pick the candidate who is most likely to represent us.
Well, for the past 10 years, I have voted strictly 2A. That's been my deciding factor down the friggin' board.
Yeah. You know, Tony, I agree with you. And I've got family members that are like, well, why are you voting for that person? I said, because they support the Constitution. They support my right to bear arms. Yeah, but blah, 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 but you're a public high school teacher and they're for charter schools or blah, blah. I'm like, well, you know, what's more important? My self-protection, you know, I can teach in other schools, you know, it's not the end of the world for me, but that right to bear arms, when you look at the restrictions that keep getting put in, I hate to say it, but I am very much a single issue voter. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I mean, you gotta kind of draw the line and pick your battles. You know, how do you guys feel about that? Is the pro 2A? I mean, even if you had somebody that was low property taxes and maybe pro reducing government and, you know, whatever, you guys, when it comes to the 2A, if they're not so much on the 2A, do you just not vote for that person? Or what if those interests that person's pushing for benefits you, say you're a small business owner or something, you know, at what point do you say, well, that 2A is the most important thing to me, you know?
If they take away your right to rise up against your government,
yeah,
then all the other stuff is crap.
Then nothing matters.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the exact same point. Yeah.
Becomes a principal issue. The issue isn't always the issue, right? And so it's kind of like bump stocks. I don't care one whit about bump stocks. I think they're stupid, but I will not support anybody who supports banning them because of what else that can mean.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, Nice Strike is with us this morning. Let's let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Okay.
Nice Strike, what's going on, brother?
Cover your ears.
Go ahead.
Shut up, infringed.
All right, so if you're not awake, you now are. So, all right. So Nice Strike.
I'm sorry, I heard bump stocks and I had to yell it.
Real quick, since you just showed up with the hall pass, Nice Strike. What's new on your channel? What's new with GunTube? Please just enlighten us for a couple minutes here, because we gave Gunstreamer and UGEtube their 5 minutes of fame on the show this morning. What's good with GunTube? What do we need to know?
Well, we got live streaming working again on GunTube. I also got the video recording from live streaming working as well. So
okay.
Clovertac tried it the other day. He didn't do a Thursday show. I think he's deciding not to do the Thursday stuff for a while.
Okay.
But he tried that. GeeWebs has been playing with that too. So live streaming on GunTube is there.
I'm going to have you take me through that because I think it's something we need to start doing.
Yeah. Just remember, it's not exactly as easy using Google Hangouts.
Oh, yeah.
It's just pressing a button. There's a bit more to it because I don't have thousands of programmer monkeys to do my bidding.
You just have us, just a bunch of monkeys.
No, I don't even have that.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
I'll put it out there right now. When I start back up with the early watch after the first year. It's going to go on Strike's platform.
All right.
Awesome.
That will be cool. That'll be
That
awesome.
will be cool. But yeah, we're working on things in the background. I can't necessarily say, this and that. All I can say is if you watch the GunTube platform and watch what's on there already, you may see changes every now and then. And those changes may eventually become new features.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I really do like looking at where GunTube, how it looked in last year when you first got it going versus now. I mean, it's very smooth, very slick, cool interface. I like how the chat works on it. It's a nice change from YouTube. I do like that. I like what you've done with it. It looks really good. And I think it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. I mean, I like the ability to just embed the videos if I want to. It's for the most part, the interface has gotten a lot better. Yes, I think it's going to be awesome.
None of those features are going away. I'm gonna leave that stuff. If you want to be able to embed your videos from YouTube, go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I would recommend that you guys right now, if you're gonna embed videos. But if you want to put it on GunTube, go ahead and do that. Just remember, don't put like thousands of videos on there. Put like
don't upload your whole YouTube library.
I would put the videos up there that YouTube doesn't want you to let you show on your YouTube channel.
If you're doing reloading videos, if you're doing gun stock videos, right? Gun builds, put that kind of stuff up there because that's stuff that we need on GunTube. We need more, this is how-to videos, or this is what you want to reload. I need more videos like that.
I think I put my my video on.
Or if you take your family out shooting and you take a video of it, where it's got your entire family, your kids, your wife, and whatnot, put that on GunTube because we need more of that too.
I live that. I don't want to video it and watch it.
Well, Tony, maybe I'd like to learn how to squirrel hunt. Okay, maybe my dad, my grandpa didn't take me squirrel hunting, and I want to know how to do it. There's a lot of pent up anger inside me, Tony, that only you can help me with. All right, so get out there, turn that camera on, and drop some squirrels.
And that's something that you could probably actually do on GunTube. Am I right? You can actually do hunting videos.
Yeah, you can do everything.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because I know YouTube doesn't like the oh my god, he killed an animal.
No, there's some big hunting channels on YouTube. Maybe they like the big channels. So there's Bro Outdoors or something like that. There's a lot of big channels that are on YouTube that show them shooting the animals and taking them down. I mean, actually show the gun. Maybe I guess I haven't heard of an anti-hunting. There might be a lot of people. There might be a lot of people that don't like it. You probably have a high chance of getting your.
I don't have a hunting category on GunTube. I think I need to go fix that.
There we go, man. We could start piling videos in there on rifle suggestions, gear, talks on caliber and stuff. So
if I can go ahead, Tony.
Videos on YouTube, which is far worse than hunting if you actually watch one.
Yeah, no kidding. I was just going to say, if I can get a camera person this next weekend, I can make a couple different videos. One maybe where we're sighting in a rifle and we're sighting in a scope and maybe a little bit of hunting footage. And if I get anything on the ground, I might, if I'm in a spot where I can, I might just go live as we walk up to it and see what it is. So
make sure you have the light acoustic guitar playing in the background. Ding, 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 ding. We did the hunt early in the morning in Nebraska at 8 a.m. Sandhill Shooter Outdoors is brought to you by Realtree and Gatorade and Red Bull. Don't drink before shooting.
I'd like to weigh in on this political commentary a little bit.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's. I mean, because this is the topic right now, man. This is the most important time for us. If you want your kids to have a right to bear arms, you better do something about it.
I was talking with my best buddy out at work, the guy who sits right next to me and has for 15 years. And he's a big hunter, fisher, all outdoorsy type stuff. And he was sitting there and we were discussing the election. I asked him if he was going to vote. He says, yeah. He said, I've been thinking about it, and I think I'm going to vote for Laura Kelly for governor, who is the Democratic candidate, by the way, here in Kansas. I kind of looked at him. I said, so you don't like your guns? And he said, yeah, I like my guns, but Chris Kovach's going to return us back to the brownback days and, cause us all kinds of problems here in Kansas. I said, if it wasn't for Sam Brownback, we wouldn't have constitutional carry and all the freedom we have in Kansas now. I said, you kind of got to think about that. I said, you might have your guns now and you don't think those are in danger, but if you don't think they'll ban hunting guns, ask the people in Massachusetts. They came after stuff that was totally innocent. And all it takes is a Democrat in office and a Democratic Attorney General, and man, they can undo years of work. To me, I mean, it's pretty easy choice. But
in our state, all it took was an odd little meeting with the city council, and they banned bump stocks in our capital city in a 1-hour meeting. Done.
But it
does not.
It's amazing all these people, and I hate to use the word FUD because it's derogatory and everything else, but
yeah,
a lot of the gun owners I know fit right into that category. They've got their hunting rifles, they got their shotguns. That's all they care about. They don't think they're in any danger.
I think there needs to be a slight derogatory tone to whatever we call people like that, because complacent doesn't cover it.
No.
They're ignorant.
Well,
I don't even know if it's ignorant. I think it's more apathetic. And that's dangerous.
Well, if you're not on our side, are you not on the other side? I mean, is there a middle ground, really?
Well, people that just aren't educated, that don't have an opinion on it, those would be the middle ground people that just let people that have their guns have their guns, let people that push for anti-politics to push the anti on us. Do
we all remember what Edmund Burke said? The only thing necessary for evil to triumph in this world is for a good man to do nothing.
That's right.
Well, I think it comes down to division within the community. I think that there are people in the community that just have the whole I got mine mentality, and they don't care about you, and we're all supposed to be, air quotes, united. I mean, for example, I don't really give two craps about Night Strike's goofy, silly bump stock, but I'm not going to vote for somebody who's going to try to take his right away from him. For me, it's always been about the right, not whether or not you own it, use it, train with it, want to fill out paperwork to get it, but it's about having your rights. And I think these guys feel like they've got their rights already, so to heck with everybody else. And I don't think they're thinking about their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids, and if they don't have kids, their nieces, their nephews, things like that. And I also don't think that they, it's that whole, they came for this and you did nothing. They came for this, you did nothing. And then when it came for your FUD guns, there was nobody left to fight for it. And they don't think like that. There's no unity in the community when it comes to stuff like that. And it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who just instantly got hungry a second ago?
Curse you, Squib! I want biscuits and gravy now. Damn it!
In the car right now, heading towards Michigan.
Hey, real quick, guys, I don't want to interrupt you, but Dusty One is joining us. So, Dusty One, I do apologize for the lack of notice on this. Thank you for joining us this morning, dude. How you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. I'm kind of tired though, because I swung a mall for 10 hours last night trying to bust drums off my truck.
Oh my God, man! All right,
I know how that is.
That's awful.
We have not got to the 450 Bushmaster talk yet, and you are apparently the man to talk to about the 450 Bushmaster. So we might be falling back on you for some knowledge today on that round. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. I love
this is gonna be awesome. I'm really, man. I've seen some options for it that are really getting my attention right now. So we'll talk about this and kind of tell me what you think about what I'm looking at. All right.
Okay.
All right.
At a flame ranch.
I kind of wanted to say something about the what if we lose
yes
thing.
Yes.
And I guess this is the kind of like the almost radical part of my brain that's saying, when is it too much? When is it we're just not going to take it anymore and we're literally going to do something other than sit down and basically talk to a wall?
I've been asking that question for 3 damn years.
Never.
When is enough enough?
Yeah, because all we keep seeing are again restrictions. And Sandhills, you've talked about this before, where we've given that inch and they've taken a foot. You brought that up in your discussions before, that that we try to sit down and have rational talks on these things and why we want our 2A, and they just want more and more and more.
And it gets to the point of me. It's just like, well, nobody cares about a right, but as soon as somebody is attacking like some amendment that most people don't even know about, the left is like, oh my gosh, we need to like look at this constitutional right. This is like, let me bring up the what's it called? I was watching TV last night. It was Tucker Carlson on the Fox News episode of Wendy's, and apparently somebody is suing Trump over this caravan of like people from Mexico.
14th Amendment thing.
Yeah, they're like suing because it violates the 14th Amendment or something. And I'm just like, are these people for real? They're suing somebody over an amendment, but yet at the same time they just kind of want to whittle away the second most important one.
I need to make a point here about the 2A part of this, because they don't want more and more. They want them all. They've always wanted them all. Make no freaking mistake about what they want.
Complete and total disarmament of the populace, man.
And they know how to get it.
Yeah.
Because
this year alone, the Democrats have gone out on national public television and said, we want to repeal the Second Amendment. Okay, if that isn't a clear enough message for y'all, I hate to say it, but there's nothing that's going to give you a message.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, but the thing is, the people who want the complete disarmament, they know how to go about it, because they understand that the Grand Canyon was not cut overnight. It was slowly eroded a little piece at a time, and now look what it is.
That's what irks me so much when anybody wants to compromise, because that's just pushing them another freaking step or inch or yard or mile towards their goal.
Plus, they control the media as well. If you look at what's happening in Portland and Washington, up at the Antifa has been going around since they were Occupy Wall Street, and destroying neighborhoods and harassing people and just being rotten, nasty people. The Proud Boys step up and don't let you do that. Then Antifa attacks them, the Proud Boys beat them up, and the whole story is, look at these right-wing radicals attacking these poor protesters. The same thing, that's what they're looking for. They're waiting for somebody to say, I've had enough, and walk down to your state capitol with, your truck full of your guns and all your ammunition, and stand there and say, these are my rights. They're waiting for us to overreact so they can throw it on camera and see, look what they did. Look, these guys did this. We got to stop them.
Well, here's the thing is, this is driving into my opinion is, if you have one guy, sure, he's going to get arrested. Now, if you have like 70 people that march on your Capitol with AR-15s, there's going to be a little bit of a different mentality there.
It's going to be way worse. You turn on CNN when there's 70 or 7,000 people standing at the Capitol with ARs, and it's going to be, look, they've invaded. They are attacking. Look at these crazies with their guns. The media is never going to play it to our side, ever.
We're not invading. We're a caravan.
But at the same time, more people have lost trust in the media than they ever have. So it's getting to this mentality that people are going to see what's on the news, and then they're going to question it. Like, hey, why are these 70 people doing this? Why?
Well,
I know this doesn't seem to be happening with the masses, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, but one can dream,
I know.
That whole fiasco with Kavanaugh helped out a lot there.
Yeah.
And the whole caravan thing is just, they're just going to arrive at that right time where no matter what they do, Trump's going to look like the bad guy, whether he turns around and sends them back or whether they take them into camps and start processing them or whatever. No matter what happens, even though he's just trying to defend the border, it's going to be a lose-lose situation for him.
Trump could open up his checkbook and buy everyone coming across there a brand new house and give them a cupboard full of groceries and whatnot. He's still going to be portrayed as the bad guy.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I read a lot of the comments and the stories in the news, and the news shows the suffering of the women and the children. Then you read the comments, and all the comments below. This is an invasion. He's just protecting the borders. They need to set up a perimeter to protect us. They need to, And as I've read more about some of the possible people that could be showing up with this group and who's kind of tagging along, and the fact that they were offered asylum initially in Mexico and stuff, my opinion about it's changing quite a bit. You could see them using the women and children as a front for the news media, which is all you're seeing and hearing about. You're not hearing about the MS-13 guys are going to be coming up with them, or possible other people that might be coming over. And I say might and could because until all these people are vetted, we don't really know what we're getting. You can assume there's going to be evildoers.
You kind of do know what you're getting because you can see the video of them ripping down the fencing in southern Mexico. No women and children did that. No women and children were throwing rocks at the Mexican police.
One of the things I think about too.
Are only 20% of the group. Most of the group is men.
Yeah.
The only thing of it is the women and children are out front leading the group.
Well, how many people left Honduras? Wasn't it 4,000?
Yeah, now it's 14.
And now they're almost 15,000 people. So where'd these other people come from if they're not coming from Guatemala and Mexico? I mean, this thing is snowballing as it goes north. So how do we have any idea who's in it anymore? It's not just refugees from Honduras.
Like I said, until they get here and we decide what's going to happen, we don't know. We won't know. I do got to commend Matt on his video. Matt made a good video about the majority of the people coming up here and the fact that they haven't done anything to fix their own problems, even though they've got the energy and the money and the resources to walk here. Obviously, they're being hauled and brought up here by certain groups, but there's no way that when you look at the resources it would take to get that group of people up here. These people have nothing when they come up here. There's no way they could do that on their own. There's definitely something else going on. And what really scares me is you start talking about, and I forgot, those countries, a lot of times they've got the pro-Marxist leaders in their countries and dictators, and they're bringing those ideas with them. That's not the kind of thing we need here. We got enough of our own problems trying to get people to get off their butt and take care of themselves. We don't need somebody else coming over here saying, hey, everybody gets everything. Everybody gets, start pushing communist ideas. That's a no-no. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I don't know. It's a mess.
We're already fighting communist ideas, and apparently they're in the Democratic Party now.
No.
The communists and socialists have taken over the Democratic Party. So
I fight communist ideas every time I talk to AWAG.
I swear.
That's a different thing. That's because of his love for commie guns. That's different.
No, that's because of my heritage.
Hey, I do want to say something since we're talking about the voting. I want to get this out again. This is my own little private soapbox, and I'll be quick about it. If you guys know anybody that's a public educator or anybody that's a teacher in general, and you know that they belong to a teacher association, typically when you belong to state, you belong to the national. The little magazine we get in the mail every month that has stories about teaching and education and policies and rules. On the back of that, they have a voter card for your state, and they tell you who to vote for. They have vote for this person, vote for this person. Take this card with you to the polls. Look those people up and look up what their stance is on the two-way. Because in the past, before I was into guns, before I cared about the Second Amendment, I would just take that card with me up there. It's like, oh yeah, they're pro-public school, pro-public school. Then you start researching these candidates. None of them are pro two-way whatsoever. Who they recommend for us for the candidate for governor, who they recommend for this and that. So if you know anybody that's a teacher, just say, make sure you don't go off that card. Make sure you do your own research on who you're going to vote for. Because you might be Republican, but you might be a public school teacher. Like, oh, this person's pro-public schools. Because those are the people that get the endorsements from the NEA, the National Education Association, and they're not a pro two-way organization, nor do they push pro two-way candidates. So that's my little soapbox to get out there. Because in Nebraska, that's a large voting population for us as teachers. It's like 25,000, which is a decent little chunk, which in local elections makes a huge impact on a small state like ours, which only has, Sandals, what do we say now? 1.2 million people, 1.4 in the entire state. Is that what we have? Is that right?
I think we're about 1.5, 1.6, but things. A good million of them, or almost a million of them, are in Omaha and Lincoln.
But then when you look at the actual numbers of people that show up at the polls and vote, it's like 10% of the population of the town actually shows up to vote. And if all those people are teachers, or a lot of those people are teachers, they're going to be pushing candidates that are not in our interest. So I just want to say that right now.
I simply can't imagine that many people wanting to live in Nebraska.
Dude, you have no idea what you're missing. Tony, come on. Get over here. Come on. Cheap land. We got 250 public hunting areas. We've got decent firearm rules in the state. You can see for You can look for 100 miles, and I mean it's beautiful out here. I can't even. You got to be here, man. You got to come experience it.
Here's the thing, Tony. This is one of the few places left in the world where you can be driving out across the middle of nowhere, blow a tire, and there might be one car come along, but that one car is going to stop, see if you need anything, see if they can help, and they're not here to rob you or anything like that. They won't take any money for their help. They are still good neighbors out here.
Like a good neighbor, stay far.
I mean, I think it's because there's so few of us that you just kind of cling to just kind of a warmth and friendliness that you don't really experience in a lot of other places.
Well, and we've all been there. We've all had to stop and change a tire out in the middle of nowhere and wish that we had even just somebody to hold a flashlight for us. So we all do that for anybody else if we can.
You obviously missed the second part and where I was going with that.
Yeah, we interrupted you. Go ahead, Tony.
Lived there, except pheasant hunters.
What about pheasant hunters?
No, that's one state to the north.
Oh, we got adequate pheasant hunting in central Nebraska. There's a lot of places you can go if you want to. It's not predominant, but you can if you want to. I've done it before and had some success. It's fun. We got a lot of we got natural resource development land that's part of public hunting grounds that you can go on if you want to go hunt pheasant.
I thought you guys had a good pheasant population.
Oh, it's better up. Sandhills is right. It's better up in South Dakota than it is in Nebraska. The grass that you need for that is kind of a limited area in parts of Nebraska. You know, the brush.
The upland country. There's parts of Nebraska that are good for upland. There's parts that aren't. The thing is, in South Dakota, over about 2/3 of their annual harvest is released birds. The environment can't support South Dakota's hunting pressure. And in Nebraska, it's all natural, so that helps too.
Hey, real quick, I got to get this out. I got a $5 super chat. So Martin Corp says vodka for breakfast fun. Man, you know what, Martin? I still try to put down my coffee, so I thank you, sir. But that's just to get that thought out there for anybody that's that might want that this morning. Hey, you know, it's you go right ahead. But thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate that. So.
Yeah, Travis would only do that if all of his students turn out to be Democrats.
Oh, geez, what? Oh man, I don't know. So anyway, thank you, Martin. I appreciate that, buddy. Good stuff. We'll put that in the ammo for breakfast fund. How's that sound, Martin? Does that work for you, bud? Oh God. So, anywho, where are we at? All right. You know what? Anything else you guys want to say about the elections at all? I mean, we know what we need to do. We've been through this before. Obviously, educate yourself, educate your neighbors, and it is hard, you know, Tony, I got to tell you, man, it is tough when you talk to friends and family and you mentioned that the 2A is the only real idea that you care about when it comes to these candidates and how they stand on the issues. And they don't get that. They just think that that's selfish. But you're right, Tony, you lose your 2A. What else is there? There's no voice. You won't have no voice. It won't be your business anymore. It'll be the government's business. It won't be your life. It'll be the government's life. And everybody else gets to take from you what you built. So to me, it is the single item. It is the thing, and part of it is we're so comfortable. We're so comfortable living in our society where we don't think anything's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to go wrong. Nothing's ever going to happen to you, even though bad things happen to good people every day in this country. I don't know. It is a bit scary when you think about it.
Well, I just wanted to. As far as the election goes, our side just needs to get them to go to the polls and vote.
Yeah,
that's all it takes.
That would sure be a good start. Yeah.
Well, good news on my end is two of my older friends, not going to mention who they are, never voted before, never registered to vote, kind of were, you know, leave me alone, we'll leave you alone kind of people, and came to me about a month ago and asked me to help them register to vote, and they voted early. So, and I'm not going to say what party they voted for, but obviously if they're friends of mine, you could probably get a pretty good idea of what kind of voting they would be doing. But
so people are getting,
right, exactly. Yeah, we're trying to get Hillary in there.
Right.
But you know, it's the energy is there, and you know, there's two more people that never voted before that decided to put their opinion in the box and let people know how they feel as well.
Yep. I don't know, man. So just, again, guys, be vigilant, get the word, spread the word, get out and vote. There's no excuse not to, you know. Especially if you got family that maybe you got some nieces or nephews that are of voting age, or you've got younger brothers or sisters, you know, it's your duty And it's your job to inform them that they need to get out there and vote and help educate them too, because it's the younger people that it's rare numbers. I think that the pro 2A community exists with the younger crowd. You know, you just don't seem, or they just don't have an opinion on it, or they just don't simply know. And it's amazing how uneducated people are when it comes to actual firearms ownership. And anyway, it's frustrating. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on here. We do have Dusty One with us today. So Dusty One, I do thank you for joining us. And again, you are welcome anytime on this podcast. And you guys can jump in whenever you want to. For many, many weeks now, months now, I've had several people say, hey, teach me about the 450 Bushmaster. I want to learn about the 450 Bushmaster. What do I need to know about it? Dusty, why don't you just give us some comments about this round, why you like it, what rocks about it, and then I'll talk a little bit about the origin of the round just for a minute. Give us a little heads up on the 450 Bushmaster, and welcome to the show, bud.
Hi. It is an awesome round. It's very accurate. One of the reasons it's popular with me is Michigan law states for hunting white-tailed deer, you can use a pistol caliber as long as it's less than 1 1/8 inches in length and a straight-walled cartridge. A straight-walled cartridge less than 1 1/8 inches. So that makes it 450 legal. 458 sitcom would be legal. 500 is just a little bit too large.
50 Beowulf?
Yeah, and I think that I'd have to measure that cartridge, but I think it's too long also.
That's based on a stretched 50 Action Express case.
Yeah, 50 AE,
so.
and it will fit in a AR-15 magazine. So maybe.
Now, let's be clear here. This 450 Bushmaster is just the short version of a real one, 4570.
It's very similar to a 45, but a 4570 has a necked cartridge, right? No.
Straight wall. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Let me just talk real quick, guys. I want to just talk about a little bit about the background of the round, so you guys kind of have some basis for it. Again, it was the idea of the 450 Bushmaster originally came from the gun writer Jeff Cooper. He was looking for something to be a more powerful version of the 5.56 round. Okay, looking for a larger bore, 44 caliber greater cartridge, and a semi-automatic rifle to provide a one-shot kill at 250 yards on big game animals. That was kind of the challenge he put out there. Well, then there's this guy by the name of, it's either Tim Legendra or Tim Legendra, I think is what it is, of Lamag Firearms. He got together with Hornaday, and he was working on a round called the 45 Professional. And again, you guys can, if I'm misquoting this, just correct me, please. And got together with Hornaday, and they decided on changing one of the bullets a little bit, changing it a little bit so it would use a currently existing Hornaday bullet, right? And then eventually they licensed out that round to Bushmaster to call it the 450 Bushmaster. Now, Tony, the parent case is a 284 Winchester. If that kind of helps you for the reloading knowledge.
I know that.
Okay.
Joke.
How far off is that, Tony, from 4570, the parent case?
Good inch.
Okay. I don't know. I thought maybe it was more similar. I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't know. Yeah.
The thing with the 450 Bushmasters, it generally has to use a handgun bullet.
Yeah. Well, okay. Go ahead.
452, 451. No, they're not direct comparison worthy, to be honest.
Yeah. Ballistics on the 450 Bushmaster, guys. 250 grain SST tip bullet will go 2,214 feet per second, and it'll have 2,722 foot-pounds of energy. At 250 yards, I think it has about a 3.4 inch drop, if I'm not mistaken, if you zero it at 100. A little bit about what's neat about the 450 Bushmaster. If you're an AR-15 person, you can use a lot of what you have sitting around the house to use that firearm. The magazines are you really got to do your research on the magazines. There are 450 Bushmaster specific magazines that will work in your AR-15 lower. You can also get single stack followers for GI mags, but sometimes those mags need a little bit of a modification. I can show some pictures off here in a little bit. Sometimes you have to cut a lip in the front of your magazine so that round will feed properly. I don't know if this is true or not, and Dusty, you can chime in on this here in a sec. PMags apparently don't work without more modification than just a single stack follower. And here's the deal, though. If you have an AR-15 mag, apparently your 10-round AR-15 mag will give you 5 rounds. 20-round AR-15 magazine gives you 9 rounds, and a 30-rounder will give you 13. So if you're in a magazine-restricted state, but you still can use semi-automatic firearms for hunting or, varmint hunting and so on, the 450 Bushmaster is going to be the one for you. I'll talk about the guns that are out there, just kind of a little bit of a selection of the firearms you can use to choose it. But it is a very, very potent round. I mean, I could see that definitely. And the fact that if you've already got the AR-15 stuff sitting around, you can get yourself an upper or you can get yourself a bolt action, and you can do a lot. So, Dusty, go ahead and fill us in on this. What do we need to know? And you'll need to unmute yourself, bud. Nope. Dusty, if you can hear us, go ahead. There you go, bud.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, man.
Right
Yeah,
back?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
I was trying to show some pictures there. I don't know if you guys could see that I was scanning on my avatar there.
Oh, no. Okay. I was reading the text off of what I had saved from earlier from the information. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. But from what I've shot mine, it's dead accurate at 100 yards. You can keep a group the size of a quarter if you want to with it. I'm not afraid to take a 200-yard shot with it and be just as accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't experimented any further than that with it.
Okay.
Here in Michigan hunting, very seldom do you get a shot that far. So,
yeah,
most of the deer I've shot has probably been at 50 or 60 yards.
Okay.
So.
Do you have a Wyndham that you're using there, or what is your rifle that you're using? I
have an AR that I built. It's a
okay.
I built it on an AR frame.
Did you buy a pre-assembled upper then, or what?
Huh?
Did you buy a pre-assembled upper with it? You did the upper yourself also?
No. With building... sorry, go ahead.
I bought the barrel.
Okay.
And I put the upper together also.
With buying the barrel, do you need a new bolt face for your bolt, or does it use the standard AR-15 bolt? No, like the bolt face. No locking lug.
Same. Standard.
Okay, cool.
The only thing that I did is I have experimented with different bolts or buffer tubes, not bolts, buffer tubes. But for the most part, the stock buffer tube works fine with it too.
All right, because I was thinking about building a 50 Beowulf upper, and the 450 Bushmaster was suggested to me, so I was looking into that. See, I have completely different requirements for a big bore, basically a big bore rifle. I'm a target shooter. I love shooting long range, so lobbing heavy bullets at like 300 yards, it appeals to me. So, but the only thing that was putting me off from the 450 Bushmaster is I don't think anybody makes a full metal jacket, just like a straight full metal jacket for it.
No, the only ammo that is made for it is made by Hornady. Hornady has they have that locked in, to be honest.
Does Remington make ammunition for it too? That's what I found online, but I didn't get a chance to research ammo prices, so I was kind of curious what
Remington
you could say.
hired Hornady to make that. After they bought out Bushmaster, they basically hired Hornady to build this ammo for it.
Okay. So what are we talking about for price per round, just entry level? What are you looking at? Are we looking at $1.25 a round, $1 a round? What less than that? 75 cents? I'm just going to vary depending on what kind of bullet you go with and what
typically
you go custom versus
a box of 20 of them usually is right around $20.
Oh, okay.
About $1 a round.
Okay. Which that's par for the course for a lot of your hunting ammunition that you're going to find. I mean, that's about what I was paying for. I think I was paying maybe $1.25 for a nice soft point 30-06 round for Winchester, PowerPoint or Silver Point or whatever it's called. So it's not like it's that much more. It's not like you're paying $2 or $3 a round for it or anything like that.
And right now, the brass for it is very expensive to buy, components to make your own, which I have dies. I am going to start making my own. But the brass is very expensive, so I went out and bought a couple hundred loaded rounds, and I'm using those, and then I will start reloading.
Is that Starline Brass? Is that the company that you buy the brass from? Is that who you get it from? Or
I haven't bought any brass.
Okay.
I've just been buying. I've been buying factory loads from Hornady and shooting them.
Okay,
I take it that thing doesn't have bolt breaking issues like the 25-45 sharps round.
Oh, and create your own brass. Yeah, that's possible too.
Yeah. I'm showing off a couple pictures of it. This is what it looks like in the magazine while you guys are talking. So see how it loads up in a and I, like I said, with the P mags. Now talk about the magazines for a minute, Dusty. What are you using for magazines in that gun? Are you using like a special 450 Bushmaster mag? Or are you using a modified AR-15 mag? What are you running with right now?
No, it's actual 450 Bushmaster mag.
Okay.
And one of the requirements for my state for hunting with it is it has to be a 5-round mag.
Yeah.
And only carry 5 rounds.
So it can be the 10 modified so that it only holds 5 when you're actually out in the field. Can you do that? You can use the 10.
Yes,
okay,
you could do that. But But you can only have 5 rounds and be hunting with it.
Could you have one in the chamber?
5+1, right?
Yeah, I guess you could chamber one, which I do that with my shotgun too. So yeah, they consider that legal.
Usually 6 is the max, but so AWAG, we were talking about this. You could technically use a 30-round PMag unmodified AWAG in a whatever you go with that would take that round, and then it would the max capacity on a 30-round AR-15 mag with 450 Bushmaster is 13, if I'm not mistaken, 12 or 13. So you wouldn't have to worry about getting a pin mag or spending any kind of money or anything like that.
Yeah, but I'd have to like laser engrave the magazine to say
yes
450 Bushmaster because you put over with a 30-round magazine, you're done like dinner.
Yeah.
Now, do those have a tendency to break bolts like the other high pressure 25-45 sharps?
I don't know. I guess I haven't heard. I didn't. In all the reviews I read on the guns, I saw no complaints at all. So,
and I don't see why they would. They have the recoil of one is probably less than a 20 gauge shotgun. So I can't see why they would bust a bolt.
Just as a comparison, real quick, guys. Squib, what is this that we're looking at here? This is the 450 Bushmaster compared to the picture that you sent me. I'm doing a screenshot.
Government. Sean Connery sent me that, so just wanted to share it with everybody. Thanks, Sean.
One of the reasons why you have to watch out for the magazines, this is a good picture. You probably can't tell in this photo, but apparently it tapers down. It kind of necks itself down towards the rim. It's actually narrower at the rim than it is towards the end of the round itself, where the bullet goes into the case. And that can cause some feeding issues. So when I'm reading reviews on these guns online, you got to be it's very magazine picky. I would say get yourself a 450 Bushmaster specific mag. They're about between $26 and $36 is what I found last night when I was doing my research on the gear. Because if you just try to use a modified, PMag or modified GI mag with a single stack follower, you can run into issues where it can start to the rounds can start to push up prematurely or push down because they don't have equal pressure going across the case. You can run into some issues. So Dusty's doing it the right way by running a 450 Bushmaster specific round. So
you can certainly tell that that's a Pondery picture.
Oh, why is that?
Nickel brass.
Nickel brass. Is that all he uses? Is because of the high humidity where he's at, or what?
Nickel brass and fancy green powder coated bullet in the case.
Hey, he's all about the frou-frou, man. He's all about the frou-frou. Look, somebody's got to keep these companies in business, right?
I mean, the guy's got the red pill and the blue pill, so
glitter infused.
It's all about color coding.
That's awesome, man. And it is a good round. So what about the actual shooting experience, Dusty? What would you say the recoil of it? What does it feel like in that AR that you got, that AR pattern rifle you're using?
Well, that's why I said a few minutes ago. To me, it's less than a 20 gauge shotgun shooting a slug.
Okay.
So, an AR shoots pretty fast, and you can empty a mag real quick if you
Oh
if
yeah.
you want to.
What?
And when you're shooting at a deer, there isn't any recoil.
Okay. Oh, and I think that'd be a perfect round for boar hunting. You know, if you want that
and
one shot
the
drop for intense, you know, on the ground feral hog hunting.
That's the other thing that it was originally designed for, was boar hunting.
Okay.
And then the Michigan laws came around, and we were able to use them here for deer hunting. And that's like Ruger. A couple gun shops a few miles north of me petitioned Ruger to build them a 450 Bushmaster, and they built them 200 of them. The gun shop sold that 200 within a day's time, so they ordered another 200 from Ruger, and Ruger was specially making them for this gun shop only in Michigan. Okay. They sold those, and then Ruger decided, well, you know what? Maybe we ought to just manufacture that gun. So a year or so later, they came out and put that gun on the market then.
Yeah.
But that gun the Ruger was originally made for a gun shop. Well, actually, it's up close to Squibb there. I can't even think of the name of it.
No, I think it's further north.
Okay.
I think it's on this side of the state, but it's further north. But yeah, I heard about that too. I think it was actually on a radio show around here a couple of years ago when it happened.
Yeah. But that dealer would sell them out as fast as he could get them.
Well, and for certain restricted states, that is an awesome way to be able to keep using. I mean, to me, it really fits so many different areas for people with what it can do. It gives you the ability to still use that semi-automatic firearm or not have to lose that AR-15 compatibility. I mean, it's just all across the board. I really like the appeal of, the 458 SOCOM, the 50 Beowulf, the 450 Bushmaster. I just think it's really neat that these rounds have really taken off and the industry is supporting it too. I mean, that's the big thing. Sean was talking about that little green tip bullet a second ago. He says, yo, that green thing is a Remington AccuCore bullet as factory made. So there we go. So he's not casting and making his own little glitter infused polymer tip bullets or anything like that.
Scientist.
Oh, that's those AccuTip bullets. Those things aren't worth crap.
Oh, them's fighting words. Sean, if you want to come in and debate that with him, I'll send you a link. Now, you remember, every gun's going to shoot it different. I mean, I've got some ammo that doesn't run well through my 30-30 and other ammo that does, but other guys might have better results with it. So, yeah.
They put that in a 12-gauge slug for deer hunting also, and I tried shooting those through my slug gun, and they would never be accurate.
Now, Adam Brock is chiming in. He said Iowa just legalized it, just brought the Ruger AR he just bought the Ruger AR in 450. So that's cool because I know they were a slug gun specific state, I think, for deer hunting for the longest time.
Yes, and that's the same with Michigan here. We have a line, it's shortly north of, or a little ways north of Squibb, and anything south of that line is a shotgun area. Northern Michigan, you can use rifles.
Yeah. Blue Seal's got a comment here, guys.
Everything is further north for you because you're so far south. The line's actually about 2 hours north of me. If you look at a map of Michigan, if you look at US 10, it's about halfway up the lower peninsula and cuts across the state from east to west. Pretty much everything north of there, you can use bottleneck cartridges. Isn't there something on the west side of the state, the Lake Michigan side, where you can only use shotgun? You can't even use pistol caliber, or was that included in the pistol caliber deal?
That was included.
Okay.
As far I'm sure, I think it. I don't know that they battled for this on this law for quite a while. Then they brought it in on a trial for 1 year, but it looks like it's going to stay now. We've had it for 4 or 5 years now. So
my understanding is it has to do with the proximity of homes and stuff, and they don't want a high-powered rifle cartridge that can travel miles potentially going into somebody's house, because even though there's agriculture where you live and the houses are far enough apart that it probably wouldn't be an issue, there are other places where that farm is now a subdivision and everything around it still farms. And I mean, there's all these areas that are built up that people used to hunt in, and it's there for that. I've had some people say, oh, your gun laws in your state are awful because you can't even hunt with bottleneck where you're at, and it's like there's a safety reason for it. I'm not debating it, but it doesn't mean we can't own the guns or take them to the gun range or anything like that. So
most people don't really realize it, but if your bullet crosses your property line to a neighbor, that's considered trespassing. You are responsible for that total length of that bullet, trip of that bullet.
So I think it's great that the manufacturers innovate this stuff to work within the laws and give us options.
Now, let's just talk about the firearms. I did a little research last night. What are some of your options? You know, if you want to get into 450 Bushmaster, if you're interested in it, granted, the state you live in is going to dictate which guns you can buy and which guns you can't buy. Just talking about from the bolt action or rifle arena, just to kind of throw a few models out there and some prices. You can obviously get the Ruger American Ranch and 450 Bushmaster for $403. They got a gun sight, much nicer gun sight scout rifle model, which is 814, which is a really neat looking rifle, but again, you're going to pay quite a bit for it. There's the Savage Scout, which looks really cool for $616. Now it says that does take Magpul AICS 10-round magazines, and some of these have proprietary magazines, so you can't just use your AR-15 mag, which really drives me nuts. If they're going to make a round that's going to be compatible with an AR-15 magazine, why not make the rifle compatible to the standard of the AR-15? Kind of like my Ruger American Ranch rifle. Instead of 62 by 39, why didn't they just make it to take AK magazines and just be done with it, you know? So again, you got some price variances there between $400, $800, $600. Now, on the low end, and this has really caught my attention, Connecticut Valley Arms makes a Hunter model break open 450 with a 25-inch barrel for $253. And it does take their scope mount on the top of it. I don't know what they call it, the zero something or another scope mount. That would be cool. That could get you into it for, and that's $253. Just pay your transfer fee. You could get into 450 Bushmaster for under a complete rifle for under $300. Now, granted, break action, single shot. You might say, what about follow-up shots? Well, if your gun is zeroed and you hit your deer with the 450 Bushmaster, I don't think it's going to get very far. So to me, I would consider buying something like that. What do you guys think about that? Would you ever consider buying a break action 450 Bushmaster? Or would you just save up and get yourself, say, an American Ranch with the 5-round magazine or 4-round magazine? Or, say, the gun sight model or the Savage? What do you guys think about that?
I would say it's not a problem because that round has a lot of energy to it, and every deer I've ever shot has fell with one round. So a single shot to me would not bother me.
That's cool. I mean, you know, you're good out to 250, 300 yards. Got plenty of, and really, if you know, from a budget perspective, you're only going to do this break action. You're going to have a little bit slower shots you're going to take on it at the range. You might not shoot your ammo quite as quickly, but I think it would be a nice way to get into it. If you want to get into it and not spend a lot of money, that's the way to do it. Now, when you talk semi-auto, we start looking at AR pattern rifles. You can get for around $450 a 450 Bushmaster Radical Firearms upper. I can't recommend it. You might have tried it. You might have had better luck with it. The Radical Firearms, I had a pistol upper that just ran like garbage for me. When you read the reviews on the Radical uppers, there's like 8 reviews on Optics Planet. 4 or 5 of them are not positive. There's a couple models where they didn't even drill out one of the gas ports. Wouldn't function. Now, granted, when you buy the upper, you're going to be using it with a lower. There's a chance that maybe the buffer spring's not going to work with it. So I would say if you're going to do anything, just get the complete rifle and just be done with it. Don't try to skimp on it. ATI does make a 450 Bushmaster Mill Sport model for $573. Wyndham has an AR pistol variant, which looks awesome. That's $906. The barrel might be 10.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Franklin Armory makes one called the XO26, which when you look at it, you start freaking out because you're like, oh my God, there's a vertical foregrip on an AR pistol. It's whatever classification it is. It's 26 inches long, so it's not considered a pistol. It's not considered a rifle. It has its own classification to it. So you can put a vertical foregrip on it, but it has like the pistol buffer tube on the back with a little foam pad. That one is $1,769. It does not have the binary trigger. Somebody was talking about that earlier. I think it was Jorge saying it'd be cool if they would make one with a binary trigger. That'd get expensive really quick, and you burn through your magazine in like 2 seconds. But yeah, so you've got a lot of options to get into it. Dusty, give us kind of a ballpark figure. What like approximately what would a person spend to get what you have? What are we looking at? Are we talking $700, $800, $650? What? Well, you said yours was a build. So what can you get approximately? What do you have into it?
You don't want to know.
Okay. Well, I mean,
No,
would you recommend a person go this ATI route, or maybe, going with something else? I think somebody had mentioned CMMG makes a mutant variant of it now. I think I saw that on maybe Mr. Guns and Gear channel not too long ago.
No, actually, when I built mine, it wasn't a popular caliber. I think I had $800 in just getting the upper put together.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I don't know if I'd even want to bother going with the semi-auto AR route. It's like I guess it depends on what you think you want to do with it. If you're for just straight up hunting, I think one of the bolt actions would be more than adequate. That Savage Scout looks really cool. I mean, that, you got your Picatinny rail up on the top. You can put whatever you want on it for optics. And I'm not trying to FUD out here, and I'm not going to say I don't see the point behind a semi-auto 450 Bushmaster. I think it's awesome. But I mean, I guess
look at it like this.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with the platform, if you're familiar with that platform, it's going to feel comfortable. I shot Dusty's, and it's an AR. I mean, I realize it's a different caliber and whatnot, but it's an AR. You grip it in the same place you would grip your 5.56 AR. If you're military like me, an M16 is for some of us our first real rifle, and that we're so familiar with, and we're so used to marksmanship training with, and everything else like that. So getting it in a different caliber, even a pistol caliber carbine, or 300 blackout, or 7.62x39, whatever it is, even if you change some of the operation of the firearm, or make it a little bit shorter, a little longer, it still has that base platform, that base design, even the AR-10. So if you're familiar with that, when you pick up one of these things and you sight in, you put it high up in your shoulder and you sight in, it just feels familiar. And I think that's the appeal, at least for me, for something like that. That's the appeal.
Now, Calaveras 32 Specials asking a question. For 450 Bushmaster, would an 18-inch barrel be about right? I mean, the fact that Wyndham makes like a 10.5-inch barrel version, I don't know what the minimum barrel length would be on for 450 Bushmaster for adequate powder burning. You guys have any idea what would be I mean, I think all those bolt actions have either a 16 or 18-inch barrel.
it really didn't make any difference. My brother-in-law has one, a short barrel. He has one 16 inches, and he has one with a longer barrel on it, and they shoot exactly the same.
Okay.
He bought the short one because then he bought that short barrel and he put a suppressor on it. That is one thing. A 450 Bushmaster is a loud gun.
Okay. Yeah, the brake they put on the ranch model, my God, the thing looks like that's like a huge muzzle brake on the end of it. So it must be a stout round,
My reaction after shooting it was laughter. It was just this big muzzle blast and bang, and it kicked a little bit more, but it's totally manageable. And it was just, that was just fun. Thanks, Dusty.
Myself and Fine Ape were discussing ballistics of the 10mm and looking at a chart for that thing. Its peak length barrel was 13 inches. So,
well, I know my brother-in-law has a short barrel and a long barrel, and both guns shoot exactly the same.
Accuracy-wise, I mean, they might chrono a little bit differently. You might have a little bit different velocity from the longer barrel, maybe. I'm just trying to think what experience I have with running shorter barrels on those guns.
I don't even think you'll see much difference on I don't know if we've ever shot it through the chrono, but I really doubt that you'll see much difference there either.
Well, okay, that Connecticut Valley Arms one, I said it has a 25-inch barrel, but it's also brake action, so they're measuring the barrel all the way from the back where it breaks. I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 inches of barrel that would be a receiver on a normal gun. That would not be a barrel. So I don't think you're going to have more than, say, 18 inches of barrel coming out of the front of that Connecticut Valley break action rifle if you want to go that route. It's like you're going to have some big honking broomstick hanging off the end of it. So, when I say 25 inches, I mean, it's going to be pretty much comparable to the same length of a bolt action 450 Bushmaster. So, it's a very cool round. I mean, and if you can figure out the magazines, and just if you want to try something different, or you want a nice stout round for a single shot takedown at 250 yards. And again, there's nothing wrong with 30-06 or 308 or anything else, but it's another option that you have. Again, if you're an AR guy, and again, like you said, Squib, if you're familiar with your AR-15 manual of arms, or you've got some AR-15 parts sitting around, that you could put on that 450 Bushmaster AR, why not? You know, and you can get into it now for a much better cost than say in the past. So I think it's definitely one of those really cool rounds that the people should look into. So anything else on the 450 Bushmaster before we move on? What do you guys think?
Other than you just have to get one and you have to shoot it. You'll love it once you shoot it.
I might order one of those CVAs. I don't know what that mount costs for the scope.
And I've heard a lot of people I know have the CVAs, and they really like that gun.
I mean, I've had a CVA black powder before, and it was a well-built black powder rifle.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they know how to.
I wouldn't be afraid of the CVA. And I bought a couple years ago. I ended up selling it afterwards, but I bought one of the Ruger Americans and played with it, and it was just as good a shooter as what my AR is.
Okay.
But I decided I didn't need to, and I bought it for my nephew, thinking he was going to use it hunting with me, and then he didn't use it, so I had a chance to sell it, so I sold it. So
I would probably go personally with the CVA, being I've got the Ruger Ranch in 7.62x39. I don't know if I get much of an advantage at 200 or 250 yards versus going to 450 Bushmaster. Maybe a little bit better takedown power. I don't know. So I'm kind of on the. I don't know if I'd want to go. I mean, and I love the Ruger Ranch rifles. I mean, I might consider picking another one up in that, but I don't know. The CVA, it's just the price is right. It gives you a chance to kind of mess around with it and see if you really like it before you invest in a more expensive platform. I doubt you'd have any trouble selling it. I know there's going to be other people that'd be interested in it that would probably take it off you easily if you didn't want it. Did you have any trouble moving yours out at all?
No.
Your Ruger? No. I mean, I think there's enough demand for it. That, yeah.
I bought it at a gun show on a whim. You go to a gun show, you think you got to buy something. So I
you don't think you know you got to buy something.
I bought it. I brought it home. I played with it. I enjoyed it, and then it was just turning into something that was taking space in my safe. So
yeah. Oh man, good stuff. All right, so we'll kind of move on. We'll shift on over to the last topic here. So I want you guys to think about all the stuff that you take with you when you go to the range. Think about the stuff that's in your gun cave, your man cave. The viewer requested question that we had was, can you just recommend just good, useful, reliable pieces of gear for the average everyday shooter? So I need you guys to rack your brain for a second here. Think about some of those things that you tend to use a lot, things that come in very handy. They don't have to be things that are expensive. What are just some nice things that we can toss out there? These might make for good gift ideas. I think we need to have our holiday gift buying episode like we did last year where we talked about gifts for gun people, right? What are some of those things that you guys, what are some of your go-tos when it comes to being a firearms owner other than the guns themselves? What's something that's good to have?
I'll tell you what, a couple of things, but first and foremost is rags that you can wipe stuff down with, and hand wipes that'll clean greasy residue off your hands is a big one.
Okay.
Then if you're a handgun guy, some sort of rod to push out squibs.
Yeah, a single piece cleaning rod. They make a nice polymer coated one. I think Allen makes one. You can get it at Walmart or at your sporting goods store, whatever, gun store. Those are really nice to have because you can tap on it. If you try to use your brass cleaning rods, you're going to snap them. So a nice single solid piece cleaning rod. I have one in the back of my vehicle, and I keep it there all the time. So I've had that. I haven't had squib load, but I've had brass that's been stuck in the receiver. I wasn't able to get it out of the chamber. So I always keep one with me whenever I go out to the range.
Yeah, sometimes squib needs pushed.
Man, Squib's probably eating biscuits and gravy right now, so he's
probably.
And by the way, you guys out there in the chat, if you want to chime in with any suggestions that you recommend for just basic range gear, just nice things to have when you go out to the range. For me, you guys feel free to chime in at any point here. A nice front sight tool for an AR-15. I got a Midwest Industries one. It's substantial. I bought a NC Star one, and the tab's basically bent the first time I took it out to the range. So I got a decent one. It's like $8 or $9, maybe a couple bucks more than NC Star, but good front sight tool. It's got the 2 different sizes depending on what your posts are. These are nice to have with you if you need to make some adjustments, especially if you guys are AR people. AWAG, what do you think, man? You still with us, brother?
Yep, I'm still here.
What do you suggest? What's a nice little piece of kit that you take with you anytime you go out to the range? What's something that always goes in the range box? What do you think?
Oh, geez. I always bring up a boar snake.
Okay.
Because,
Yep.
I always like to get that little head start when before I leave the range for cleaning. It's just one less thing that I have to do.
Sure.
But Another thing is probably what are they? Lubricant. Lubricant is a big one because the lubricants that I use are kind of thin because we're starting to get into colder weather here in New Jersey. Yeah. So when the guns are inside, it's all warm and the oil thins out and it just kind of runs where, it runs off the rifle. So as soon as you go to shoot the rifle, the lubricant isn't there anymore.
Rich White is suggesting from the chat, always have a firearm when you go to the range. Yeah, if you watch my videos, I've always got my concealed piece with me. Unfortunately, I print really bad because I'm wearing a tight t-shirt. But what are we showing off there? What's Sandhills? What do you got there, Sandhills?
Can you see what that is? Can you
pull back? No, pull back. It's blurry. Here we go.
Looks like an F-Lula.
Oh yeah,
it's an F-Lula. If you do very much shooting or very much reloading, especially if it's getting into cooler weather like it is now, this is a finger saver.
Must have. Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's definitely good money spent. So there you go. Nice.
And you can. I think I picked this thing up. They're normally around $40 or $45 in stores, Cabela's or Bass Pro or whatever. I think I picked this up on Amazon for $28 and got free shipping with Prime.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Amazon's cheaper, definitely.
They got different
colors.
Them
in different sizes too.
Yeah, that's true too. Because this will do anything I think from a 380 up to a 45. But if you've got single stack mags, double stack mags, it'll fit them. If you've got a 22, they got a different one. They even make stuff for AR mags. I mean, this company's making stuff to reload just about anything that can either save you time or save your finger or both.
A lot of good suggestions coming across the YouTube side. Patriot in the Dark is saying lead-free hand wipes, very good to have. Jorge Cortez, spare ear protection, ammo gun, Hearing Pro, Eye Pro. I always have at least 2 other sets of muffs with me and 2 to 3 other pairs of shooting glasses with me too. And then I've got the foam earplugs in my vehicle too. I just keep them in the ashtray with the pocket change, so they're always there if I need them.
If you have electronic Ear Pro, carry a spare set of batteries with you.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then spare batteries for any of your optics. If you use a lit up reticle or a red dot, make sure you have it because sometimes those batteries are a funky size that you just can't buy at your local Walmart. Streamlight has a special kind of battery that it uses. Yeah, batteries are very good to have. Definitely a must.
Or the red dot on your lever action carbine.
Yeah, there you go. Your lever action carbine. Let's see. Another thing I got here that I was going to show you. This is. Well, bore light's nice to have. You can check your bore when you're done cleaning it, or you got an obstruction, or nice bore light works good.
Something else too that doesn't take up a lot of space is to just pick up a package of some of the soft earplugs, even if you use electronic muffs or something. You never know when somebody's gonna want to go with you or whatever, and you don't have enough muffs to go around, but you can just give them the earplugs and be like, here you go. They're cheap, they're disposable. Just don't even worry about giving those back to me.
Or if you have to double up sometimes because the jerk next to you is shooting a 300 Win Mag with a muzzle brake.
That's another one.
Speaking of that jerk, seeing what he had as his gear, I'll recommend something. If you're kind of into designer clothes and driving a BMW to the range, you might want a nice soft cushion to set on when you're sitting at the bench. A nice butt pad there for you. Keep your candy ass soft. I'm not bitter.
Jeez, man. No,
Dude, every time he pulled the trigger, I felt like somebody was punching me in the nose. My nose still hurts a week later.
Whoa, man! You sure you didn't get in a fight? He didn't punch you in the face, or what?
No.
When I stepped back behind the line and I was watching him shoot, you could see the concussion wave go right over my shooting station. I'm like, wow. Dang. But still, this guy was all equipped out with some of the stuff, and that all these things everybody's been suggesting is stuff that we've suggested before, and it's stuff that I carry, and I do say I will agree that it works. But yeah, I don't think I've seen until then somebody come to the range with a pad to sit on.
Now I have used a pad to sit on before, but not because my butt needed the cushion. It was because my butt wanted to be dry.
And I got an old blanket I take to prop me up so I can actually get up to the scope. Yeah.
if you saw the clothing this guy was wearing, you could tell that it wasn't to keep his butt dry. It was.
I understand what you're saying, but just have something with a waterproof backer on it, because a lot of the time there might not be a roof over your bench that you're shooting off of, and if it's raining or if it rained in the night and you're out there in the morning, it is nice to not have wet jeans or wet pants or whatever when you get done.
Yeah, but Sandhills, as a shooter, don't you ever suffer for your craft?
Absolutely. If I don't have, see, the thing is, I've shot before, sighted in a rifle a little bit cold because I took off my coat to sit on it. Yeah, I've suffered. I'll do what I need to. I had to choose between goosebumps or wet butt, and I chose goosebumps.
I don't know, chat monkey butt, man. That's beard, not
fun. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with having that beard. You've got to be rugged.
I know. I know. Well, I'm more like Travis. We just look tough. We're lovers. We're not fighters.
That's right. We're the teddy bear type with the dad, disguised in a dad bod. So
I didn't mean to say that Travis and I are lovers.
No. Well, there was that 24 hours in
I just want to say, when we went to Tulsa and when we checked into our hotel room, there was a time when we were checking into the room and the young lady behind the desk said, 2 queens, and Travis said, no, we're both married to women. We're just...
Hey, look, what happens in Tulsa stays in Tulsa. So,
or it ends up on YouTube and gunchannels.com. So, yep. Sandhills and Travis P11 are lovers. We're lovers. We're lovers of guns is what we are in Midnight Range. Midnight Range, you're just jealous you weren't there with us. Man.
I want to see you guys in matching flannel shirts with camo hats, right?
Hey, well, we basically look the same like everybody else on this.
Everybody assumed that we were related anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Nebraska, you might be. It's kind of, part of my family is from some areas that everybody's related. So now,
Mossy Oak is the official second state color for us. So yeah. So.
What about in your range gear, keeping an extra coat or something, or gloves or something in case it gets a little cold that day? I mean, you want to talk about getting wet, but what if you get in there and it's not too bad when you get out of the truck and you're doing, and mind you, I said truck too. Don't go to the range in a car, but you get out of the truck and you're nice and warm, and 4 hours later, the wind's been on you, and even though the temperature is acceptable, the wind is kind of made your hands where it's kind of hard to pull the trigger or grip the rifle or whatever it is. And if you just had a set of gloves, or if you just had a windbreaker or something in the range bag.
Yeah. It's always good to have like an emergency poncho with you too. Or I always keep a stocking cap and a pair of gloves and a pair of dry socks in my bug out box. Just a pair of socks, cotton socks. Because you never know if you're going to step in a puddle and have wet feet. You might be on the road or something. It's just
hey,
I got a pair of black.
Mentioned the multi-tool yet?
No, we're getting there. That's what we're all saving up for. We're getting there. Real quick, David, do you have any suggestions? What goes in your range box? What's some of the necessary everyday gear items you take when you go to the range? Because you go to the range a lot. What's something that always has to go with you?
We always have to take a toolkit with us, different types of screwdrivers and Allen wrenches and all that kind of stuff. And surprisingly enough, we're like the only people at our range. Is at least once a day while we're at the range, somebody will come up and be like, "Hey, can I borrow your toolbox?"
Oh yeah, like they'll get a step case, or they'll need a pair of earplugs or something. Yeah,
that happened to me too. Do you keep a cleaning rod or cleaning rod sections in your toolbox? Because I don't, and I probably should.
Well, we have one of those little cleaning kit type of deals, your little fold up Walmart type of kits. And then we have your basic just tools that we have had to use. We've been to the range and I don't have that tool. So next week it's going in the bag, and then it's just, progressed since then. But the good thing about the range has a little like shack or whatever. And inside there, they have a whole bunch of cleaning rods and different stuff like that. Like they'll do your bore sighting, or if you got, something stuck inside your barrel, they'll get it out. So generally we don't have to have that, but I always have a cleaning kit, at least in the trunk of my car.
Patriot in the Dark suggesting he goes trauma kit, med kit. Well, yeah, that's just a given. We were just talking about little pieces of gear that make the shooting experience a little bit better. Yeah, we've all got. I mean, I've got a med kit too in my vehicle, one in the bug out box, and I've also got one right next to the bug out box.
Just throw some dirt on it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. I don't keep one in the range box because when I'm shooting, I'm 15 feet away from my vehicle. Not that that could make a life or death difference, but I do keep a couple Band-Aids in the shooting box in case I catch my knuckles on anything if I'm charging a firearm or whatever. Catch some Picatinny rail the wrong way, or
Yeah, I carry an umbrella with me everywhere I go, and the first time at the range, it's a covered. Where you shoot is covered, but where you hang your targets at is exposed. And the first day I was out there, I popped open my umbrella and walked out to hang my targets, and some of the guys were ragging me and giving me a hard time. And then when they came back and they were soaking wet and I was dry.
I mean, you're just being practical. It's not about impressing Mary Poppins. You're just trying to stay dry so you can enjoy your shooting, And you can stay out the range longer if you're not freezing, soaked, wet, miserable. You're going to enjoy your shooting experience more. Why not? Who cares? Really, who cares?
If it's 95 degrees out and you get a little bit wet, so what? When it's 7 degrees out and you get rained on, it makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah, been there, done that, got soaked. Definitely. WB suggested a staple gun. Yeah, I've got a Stanley staple gun that I keep, and that's in my bag with my targets. I always load it up before I go out so that I can get the targets up as quickly as possible. So I know, Squib, when you were putting your targets up, you got the little clamps out. I'm like, no, let's get the staple gun on it. You're like, no, I use the clamps. I use the clamps.
I used a staple gun for the longest time, and I just at the range I go to now, even though they put styrofoam up there, it either won't stay in the styrofoam, the wind just takes it off, or if you try to staple it into some of the wooden planks, they're just the way my targets are set up, it just doesn't work. And I had seen somebody using binder clips, really big binder clips, and we'd use those at work to hang up drawings for prototype, blueprints and stuff like that. And so I kind of got the idea, and I said, well, I need something I can shoot, and if I break it, destroy it, lose it, whatever, and I don't care. It's not. And at Walmart over in the tool aisle, they've got these black and red plastic clamps of various sizes, way too many small ones, not enough big ones. But I think the whole bag is like $8 or $9. So I've saved the small ones and used them for odd projects at home and work. But the bigger ones, I keep in my range bag, and I keep extras. And if I shoot them, I don't care. I mean, I pick up the mess. I don't leave the mess at the range, but I just, they're almost disposable. And, there's metal ones. You can go to the big box stores or the hardware stores and find the metal ones. The thing about that is if you shoot that, now you got a sharp metal edge that you're, trying to throw away or something, and those are usually more expensive. Every now and then, though, you'll find stuff. I was at the hardware store, and they had the plastic ones out of the box, or not, out of the bag, loose, like somebody had returned them or something, and they had them on in the I don't know, clearance aisle or whatever you want to call it. And I bought some of those dirt cheap, and once again, I don't care if I shoot holes in them or whatever. It makes it fast because I'm that jerk that's down there at the end of the range putting pasties over all my bullet holes, whereas other people are just swapping out targets. So I've got to do something to save time when I'm setting targets. The clamps save time.
That's what I was about to say too. If you bring along a Sharpie to cancel out your bullet holes, you don't have to swap targets out all the time. Because you can mark which ones you've already shot, so then you can find the new bullet holes. Also, if you're working up hand loads, then it's nice to have a marker or a pen so you can write on each target what load you were shooting.
Yeah, circle it and make notes.
That way you can go back through later and be like, well, this load worked up a 1-inch group, and this one was clear at 2.5 inches. And you can keep track of what's what because you can write it down right at the time instead of having to try and remember. And by the time you get home, you forgot what each one was.
Yeah, if I get good results, I'll pull the target. I'll make notes on it and take a look at it when I get home, or take a picture of it with my.
And a pen that works in all weather, or a pencil, which pencils work, they work in every temperature.
And those little round pasties, the shoot and sees and whatnot, I see a lot of guys at my range, they don't know how to use them.
I don't think I've ever been to a gun range where somebody had pasties on, but...
It's mostly in Las Vegas. There is a question for you.
I
knew what you meant, Squib.
Yeah. But they'll go out there, they'll just take the shoot and sees right out of the package, and they'll hang it up. They'll shoot holes in the middle of it. They'll leave the corners. They won't take the little round, circles off the corner, and then they throw them in the trash, and I'm thinking, dude, you peel those off, you plug the holes, and you get to reuse the target, at least one more time, and it's just okay, man. Hey, your money, do what you want, but those
because
are
the shooting seeds by themselves are kind of expensive. They're like $7 or $8 at Walmart for like 25 of them, and just the orange, the various little circle. I'm not gonna call them pasties, but little bullseyes.
Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
If you go on Amazon, you can buy sheets of just the circles in 1 inch or 2 inch, or get different brands that they got the Splatterburst and some of the other ones, and there's a lot more variety there than what you can get at Walmart, but the Walmart prices aren't too bad. My local gun store sells some of them for pretty good prices, which really surprised me because I know that's they make their money off of all the accessories they sell. But when I'm in there, I'll pick up some.
Yeah. See, the other thing we're talking about, guys, the pocket tool. I don't have a AR specific Leatherman. I just use the Rev. And I've got a rebar in the glove boxes of our vehicles because I've been able to use them to repair cars in the past. So, Gary, you got a Rev too? Which one are you running there? Is that the Wingman? That's your Rev?
Sorry, I had myself muted. It's Wingman.
Wingman, yeah. The Wingman and the Rev are very similar. I think the only difference is one has scissors and the other one doesn't. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, this has scissors.
Wingman is a great entry-level Leatherman pocket tool to get into. I've also got a lot of little $5 Ozark Trail ones, but yeah.
Gary's saying he'll be your Wingman.
Yeah, the Ozark Trail ones will work a couple times and then break or not keep tension on the.
I bought a set of those. I couldn't hardly get the things to come out of the. Try to get the tools out. They all stick. I've tried lubricating and everything else. It's just impossible to use. I guess you get what you pay for. The Gerber ones are okay though.
Yeah, no, you can drop some serious cash on some. I know Victorinox also makes a like a Leatherman style pocket tool. You go online, there's some really old ones that they made. They're one of the original companies that made one about the same time as Leatherman when they first came out.
I don't know if SOG is still building them, but SOG used to have, I think they called it a power tool. And the pliers actually worked off of gears on that one. You could really get some torque down on those jaws.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They were designed to be the pliers that weren't going to bend or break out of all the multi-tools. That's what SOG designed them for. And anything that SOG builds is usually pretty tough.
Yeah, the SOG Power Assist multi-tool, $65. They got one for $100. Yeah, they have different price points you can get into. Yeah, SOG still makes them. They've got a whole bunch of them out there, carried by a bunch of different companies too. They do make some weapon-specific multi-tools out there too that might come in kind of handy. If you want to go with an AR-15 specific, I don't know if a lot of those tools are really usable, but maybe out in the field it might come in kind of handy. There's nothing that a lot of these tools in your box can't already do. Also, I always have just a set of inexpensive Harbor Freight, just center punches, just punches. In general, I use them for everything. Now, I've got a nice set for, the pins for putting together an AR lower, and I've got the special punches for that they make the two different types. But just a nice set of punches. If you got something you need to tap back in or something you want to put back in, those are really nice to have. And I've used the heck out of those over about the last 10 years. So those are something handy to have in the box too. I don't know. Any other suggestions? I was kind of checking. Calaveras 32 Special said he uses blue painter's tape to mark up the targets to cover up the bullet holes with cheap targets and tape. It's a cheap setup. Yeah, that's definitely. There's nothing wrong with just using a paper plate with a bullseye on it to shoot at. I mean, I do. One of the only reasons why I buy the targets for my channel is just because they show up better in videos. But if I was gonna be on a budget, I would just use paper plates and the tape to cover stuff up, or just get the little tape on, just get the little stick-on bullseyes. I mean, because the targets get a little expensive. They're about $5 for 5. That's what you pay at Walmart. Maybe $8 for 10.
Big Al put out a video where he went to Walmart and bought a ream of orange paper and then a ream of the plastic sleeves that you would put a sheet of paper in, and he sprayed the plastic black. So he used 2 different types of paint, and one of the paints splattered better than the other one did.
Okay.
So when you shoot through the black paint, you can see the orange.
Yeah. It basically does what the Dirty Bird targets do, but you're going to get an entire poster board size amount for the same price as buying the targets pre-made.
Yeah, one of my range friends, all he ever does is take, and it's at the grocery store how they've got the orange, blue, and yellow different types of little circles.
Mm-hmm.
one of his friends works at a grocery store and brings him those circles, and he just sticks it on a piece of paper.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you got a lot of options for things you can do if you really want to get there, you know. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any other suggestions for range gear at all? Anything else that you suggest people have in the box? I mean, we can go through and dissect the whole range box, but what's just kind of your go-to? Is there anything we've missed out on?
I always like to keep 2 or 3 of those microfiber claws.
Oh.
Pretty good for wiping down. I always keep one with a little bit of oil on it just for a last wipe down. But I also bring some clean ones just to wipe the powder and stuff off of them when I'm done shooting. So I don't like putting them back in the bag filthy.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. And those you can get like a 5 or 6 pack for just a couple bucks. Those are nice to have too.
Yeah, and they do a real good job.
I know for range boxes, I've been really happy with my Sight and Clean box. I've got the stand and the box. The stand goes inside the box and sits in there, and you can use it as a cleaning stand. You can use it as a sight-in tool or a sight-in stand. You can use it as your regular gear box. It's very well built. It's about $75 for everything, but I've been using it. Well, wife got it for me as a Christmas present or a birthday present, so it's been, you know, I've used the heck out of it. It's got tons of compartments in it and boxes. This is the, I know I've showed this off on the channel before. This is the base unit of itself, and then you've got the, put these in here to put your gun in. So I mean, you can use it with 1 or 2. I've shown this off in a lot of videos. This is just, you can buy the stand by itself, and it's got some adjustability on it for height. And then it also has a box that everything sits in, and you can put tons of stuff underneath this in the box itself. I've got a full cleaning kit with like a hard case that sits in there that has all the bristle brushes and all the cleaning rods and stuff. And on the right side, I got a huge compartment that's got everything. You can fit a small can of CLP or REM oil in there. I've got more tools in there, chamber flags. Just pretty much anything I've ever run into. Sight tools are nice to have too, front sight tools for different guns. I've got my Mosin Nagant tool kit in there also. That came the original surplus issue tool kit. So,
does anybody else carry a small tripod in their range bag? Because I do.
You mean for like a camera? Or?
Yeah, for your phone and stuff. Like if I want to do a video on the range, I can kind of just set up the phone right on the, the bench where I'm shooting real quick.
I do have a little wire-legged one that I guess I don't bring it with me because I guess that would not be a bad idea, but I tend to shoot.
A small one will fit. Yeah.
This is the littlest one that I have. This guy's about, it's like 14, 15 inches, and then extends out to 3 feet. This is just an Amazon one. These are okay. They don't hold up very well, but they're all right. I don't know. Little legs are starting to come off the bottom.
I got a quick question about the like filming at the range with your phone. If you've got your phone close to your fire, the speakers or anything like that.
So you were kind of ghosting out the roboting out, David. You were asking if you got to worry about the sound concussion maybe ruining the microphone or the speakers on the phone because of the loudness of it.
Yes.
Okay, I would say no. I don't film with my phone, but my cameras are very, very close to the firearms when I shoot. I've got my little Sony that I use. This is what I use when I actually film pulling the trigger on the rifles and stuff. And this thing can be like a foot or 2 feet away, and it's never damaged the microphones at all. I think if anything, the microphone's only got a limited range of sound it's going to pick up. So once it exceeds that decibel limit or exceeds that range, it's just not going to hear it. So I think you would be okay. You'd be more likely to damage the cameras from. I've actually shot a camera. Well, I didn't shoot. I had splash damage come off steel and destroy one of my cameras. Just an inexpensive one, but that'd be more of a risk, I think, than the microphones or speakers. Gary, what do you got there?
I always carry this little tripod with me.
Oh.
It's a small one, but it'll sit like up beside you on the bench while you're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is only about a foot long or so, so it'll fit inside a range bag. And bring the phone mount with you also, of course.
Okay. Did you get that from Amazon, or where'd you pick that up at?
Actually, I got this at Best Buy. They've got them on Amazon.
Okay. So it has a traditional camera, like the little screw-on attachment if you need it, the screw in the bottom?
Yeah, it's a Sunpack, I believe.
Oh. Sunpack makes good photography gear. They've been around for a long time. They make a lot of flashes, auxiliary flashes, and tripods and stuff. And I was kind of a camera geek when I was a kid. It's definitely a name I recognize.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So I guess that if you want to do the videos or if you want to film yourself shooting, in case maybe you got some bad shooting habits, maybe you're just not shooting right, you might want to go back and take a look at your shooting style and have somebody analyze it or look at it with you and try to figure out what's going on. nothing wrong with filming yourself at the range if you can, if your range allows for it. Definitely
I
the way to go
always
there.
ask. Usually ask before I go in, do you mind? Usually if there aren't a whole bunch of people in there, they don't care.
Yeah.
You know, the other people might not want to be filmed. So it's always nice to ask.
Stephen Dawkins says he's been using shooting sticks lately. They're pretty nice and light. Yeah, that'd be definitely a good thing to take with you out to the range. A small bottle of Valstol is a good one. Some people mentioned some food and water. Ziploc bags, always nice to have, especially for brass if you pick it up. If you're allowed to. Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else we're missing out on here. You guys want to add anything else before we go ahead and call it? Anything else come to mind at all, or not?
As far as the staple gun goes, and if I'm roboting, you can just cut me off because I'm driving.
No, it's okay.
Make sure we go to an outdoor range and our maximum range is 200 yards. Make sure that you've got staples and your stapler works, because there's nothing like walking 200 yards and not having any staples in your gun or it not working when you get there.
The problem with the Stanley staple gun is that the spring and the little latch that keeps the staples, and if you're not careful, that'll pop right out and fly and you'll lose it. So that's
Well, you definitely don't want to be the guy that everybody else is waiting on to hang your targets.
Yep, I agree. Oh, that's definitely, something you got to know. All right. Well, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We've been going for a couple hours now, and everybody can get their weekends going or go back to bed if they want to. Go get some more coffee, whatever works good for you. So, everybody, panel, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and just give a little recognition to those people that were tuning in today, that were watching. We had a lot of people out there watching. So, guys, make sure you like or subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check me out on gunchannels.com. Over at Caliber Corner. So on the Gun Channel side, we had Paper Plane Crash with us, and Patrick, and I think Tony was over there earlier too. We had some really good discussions. Let's see here. Over here on the YouTube side, ton of people. Patriot in the Dark is with us. Armament Axis. Logic Rex was with us. Rich Whites, Rob D, Stephen Dawkins, Moobut, Tacos and French Fries, Calaveras 32 Special, Jorge Cortez. Midnight Range was with us too, one of the first people to check in. Black Cat Outdoors. Let's see here. That might be about it. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I think Tina was here earlier too. Liberty Cat. Probably still with us too. I know a lot of you guys are just sitting here watching, which is good. But otherwise, that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and let Scott P79 with us too, as always. South of the Border Panda. And also want to thank you guys for that super chat earlier. I promise you I'll put that to good use. Rich White with us also. We'll go and let the panel go ahead and close this one out. We'll go ahead and start on my left. Tony went ahead and ducked out. So, Tony, thanks for joining us, buddy, earlier. Night Strike was with us, too, earlier. He said he's going to go get himself some biscuits and gravy. So, Squib, look what you did.
Oh, I'm so full.
Oh, you suck. I got to go get a second breakfast now. All right. So, AWAG, why don't you get just a few closing words, man? What do you want to say? Anything you want to say before we call it?
I can't really think of anything right now.
We'll be checking out your channel, AWAG 1000, right? A lot of good content coming out there. If you guys are into AK pattern rifles or just guns in general or building firearms or checking out some neat bolt action rifles, check out AWAG's channel.
Yeah, so
cool.
Check out my channel for some seriously insensitive content and maybe a laugh here or two.
So if you're easily offended, you probably shouldn't come to the channel. That's what you're saying.
If you're easily offended, go to the channel anyway.
There we go. There we go.
That's
we're done. We're done catering to your feelings. Okay, I got you. All right, man. Thanks for joining us today. And like I said, hopefully next week we'll get the topics posted. We'll go from there. David Bowling, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for the invite. Always a pleasure to be on board. Great conversation every week. If you're interested in working harder than you've ever worked before and being more frustrated than you've ever been before, go check out my giveaway challenge. And it ends tonight, so time's running out. Thanks for having me, Travis, and appreciate the conversation.
No problem, man. No problem, man. And Dusty was with us today. Dusty, thank you for sharing with us, Dusty One, about the 450 Bushmaster. You recommend it? You recommend that as a round people need to check out?
Oh yes, I think everybody needs one.
All right, yeah, that CVA just made it to the short list, and if I really like it, maybe I'll invest in something a little bit fancier. But that would just be fun to play around with, you know.
It is. Cool, I love mine. And like I said, I use it to hunt with too, but it's still, I like just shooting it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of fun to take it out and see what it can do. And, just really, I mean, it's a screamer, man. I mean, it's definitely got some energy behind it. And it's a very fast round. And again, it gives a lot of flexibility and options to people. A lot of states are adopting it now as a platform that you can use for hunting. And I think that's a great thing. So, no reason not to. No reason not to. All right, man. And remember, you guys that are on the panel, you guys are always welcome to come back anytime. So, Gizzard Gary, any final parting words before we call it, man?
I'm finally glad to actually sit in on one of these from start to finish.
There you go. Yeah, man.
Enjoyed myself. It was great to be in here. Thanks for the invite.
Okay. Your live shows, live podcasts, you got anything coming up that you going to be hosting anything in the near future? Anything lined up or what?
Don't have anything scheduled. I'll probably release a couple videos this week, probably one before the election this week, just to get my stance known out there to everybody, and some other stuff in the works, but I don't have a set schedule.
Okay. Cool. All right, man. That's all right, man. Keep checking out the channel, and as always, give him the bird, right?
Give him the bird.
Give him the bird. All right. Sandhills with us the whole time, man. All right. Appreciate it, buddy. Anything you want to say before we call it? Anything before we close out?
Well, again, thanks for letting me come and tag along and throw my 2 cents worth in.
No problem.
Everybody be sure and pop over to my channel Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time, and catch 2A Tuesday. We will talk about some deer hunting, getting inside deer's heads, tactics, things like that. Yep. We'll probably talk a little bit about the election, because that is election day next week. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that, but I don't want to get too much into it, because I'm sure by 9 o'clock Central, everybody else will have already discussed it at length that day.
Oh yeah, the whole week. Yeah.
So I don't know that we'll have anything new to say anyway. But we'll kind of get into that. And if you have not figured out who to vote for, you've got 3 days left to do your due diligence. Research your candidates, find out who's going to do the best job that you expect out of them, and then vote according.
Definitely. Do your part, man. Do your research. Know what you're going into, and you'll be all set. So, yep. Awesome. Okay, Squib, what do you got to say, man? I want to catch you before you fall asleep now that you're biscuit and gravy infused. So,
what I have to say is, if your local gas station only has 1 or 2 pumps that have diesel also, or the outboard stations have diesel only, but the inboards are all gas, and you have a vehicle with gas engine, don't go to the diesel pump.
Well, you can't even get the diesel nozzle on your gas nozzle on your car, right?
Yeah, but there are the pumps that have both gas and diesel, and then there's pumps that are gas only. Okay. And you got the person in their tiny little Mazda or something, and they're at the diesel pump, and there's 4 gas pumps, and I'm here in my truck going, well, I'm waiting on you, pal.
What drives me nuts is when I'm filling up my car and there's open pumps around me, and the person rolls up behind me and they're waiting.
Why would they?
People, I've had that happen 3 or 4 times. I'm like, go around right there, because they want that left. I don't know why. I've had that happen twice. People pull behind me and they sit and wait, and I go in and pay it and come out, and there's open stalls around the area, and I drive off. Nebraskans do some weird things sometimes. Maybe they weren't from Nebraska. I don't know.
I was going to say that, but I'm glad you did. I mean, it's like, I guess, they'll pull over and help you change a tire. That's fine, but they'll wait in line for no reason. Okay, sure.
I mean, a lot of our pumps are not prepaid, so you can pump outside, then go in and pay and get your snacks and stuff before you leave. So we ate prepaid pumps, man.
That car behind you probably had Kansas plates.
I don't know. Gary might have been rolling up. He might have been, I don't know. It's like I'm sitting there. I'm like, you're gonna sit here and watch me fill up.
I'm sorry. Iowa plates.
That's better. That's better.
Now we got nothing against Iowans. Somebody's got to provide us casinos for entertainment, I guess. Since what you've done to build them ourselves.
That's what New Jersey's for.
Yeah, there you go. Atlantic City, right? Atlantic City, baby. All right, man. Well, all of you guys, thanks for joining us today. We had a good chat today. We talked about 450 Bushmaster. We talked about the non-marriage of Gunstreamer and UGEtube and what kind of impact that might have, if any impact at all. What's going on? Logic Rex is throwing all kinds of things out there. I have no idea what's going on. And let's see, 450 Bushmaster talked about that. Best gear ever. Just some good, useful little bits of kit that you can have for your gearbox when you go out to the range. And I'll go back and check those messages here in a little bit. So anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us. Thanks for checking it out. Check out my channel, Travis B11. like or subscribe. And again, I'm on Gunstreamer, YouTube, all over the place. Get over to guntube.org. You can support GunTube on Patreon. Link it's patreon.com, and then probably GunTube. If you search for GunTube on Patreon, you'll find it, because Night Strike is basically funding that whole thing out of pocket with what little ad revenue he can get from it. So let's keep it going. Let's make sure GunTube does happen and stays on. Otherwise, that's it. Make sure you get over to gunchannels.com and get yourself signed up. Awesome community over there. And that is it. So this has been Caliber Corner episode number 65. Thank you guys all for joining in. We'll talk to you later.
Wait. Hold on. I got a new addition to the patch panel. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Can you see it? Let me see. If I talk, it'll get big.
Where did you get that? Oh. We don't even have to say it anymore. We can just show the patch.
We'll just put cube up. There we go. It's right over top of me. Look at that.
Nice. The Buy Felicia patch, man. Where'd you find that at? Who sells that?
Tell you what, if you want it, I can get you one.
All right, I'm gonna have to buy one. I'll PayPal you some money later on. Well, I'm gonna give you the Spanish translation of that for all of us Spanish-speaking guests out there. Adios, Felicia. Adios, Felicia. There we go. Felicia. All right. Shall not be in French.
Give him a bird.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Have a great weekend, guys. Get out there, shoot. Take somebody out there with you, shoot, and have fun. Okay. We'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye-bye. Peace.